Hello, everybody. Let's fix this. There we go. It's still too high. Too low now. Too high. Well, we're gonna have to go slightly dark today. There we go. Test out the cough button. There we go. How are we doing today? Slash this evening, slash this fine night. This 24-hour block period we decided was a day. I am gonna forewarn you, a bit of a migraine today. Not as bad as yesterday, so it's going a little bit better. As I'm chugging down the caffeine, that should help, right? This game turned 28 years old this year. And I didn't know this was a thing. For those of you just getting in on the chat, let me know. Is Donkey Kong Country a Thanksgiving game? Like, apparently, I didn't realize I was jumping on some sort of trend train there with that. Like the first Donkey Kong Country, apparently. Like, when I looked up Thanksgiving Day memes for it, there was apparently a bunch of Donkey Kong-themed Thanksgiving memes. I don't know what... I didn't know there was a correlation for it, other than it being released at Thanksgiving. Uh-oh. Right in front of me, if you guys heard that. I was like, uh-oh. Because I just started laundry, and the last time I saw this, it was in a pocket of something I just put in the wash. So, I was like, uh-oh. My phone going through the washer, am I gonna have to get a new phone for Christmas after all? It is 2 years old now this year. Which I know is an eternity for phones. Jerome, welcome to the chat. And OXO, welcome. You doing all good there? How was your Thanksgiving? I know some of you may be disappointed because I said I was debating on streaming on Thanksgiving. But, I didn't actually get a chance to, as you guys noticed. Usually I put play, So Drum says, hadn't heard anything about Donkey Kong Country being a Thanksgiving game, but it sounds good. I mean, it made sense to me a little bit, but I was also like, why? Why would... I mean, other than it being released at Thanksgiving, maybe it's now to the point where, like, this was like a huge core Thanksgiving memory for some of the gamers who grew up during this time. By the way, and I've got to point it out every time. Let's see if I can get this over here. Over here in the picture somewhere. Nope, wrong way. Over here in the picture somewhere. There we go. Is the N64. Which, yes, I spotted back in the day. I'm like, that doesn't look like a Super Nintendo. But through most of the N64's life cycle, I ended up playing, this is one of the games I would have been playing around this time. From 96 to 99. But it sounds fun. Spent most of your Sunday watching reruns of House MD. Forgot how good that show is. Haven't seen it in years. Oh, House is a good one. My dad used to watch that all the time. And so he got me hooked on it. I like it because it's more like, obviously, Sherlock Holmes kind of homage. But what's interesting is the current generation of people growing up, and I say like kids in high school, have an entirely different opinion on that show than I guess I remember having on it. Like, it was a big show. Are you watching that on streaming somewhere, OXO? I own... That's how long ago it is. I own the DVD box sets. I believe it came out on Blu-ray as well, but I don't think I own any of them on Blu-ray. And now that you said it, I'm probably going to have to end up getting it myself here. And this apparently was one of the... Oops. One of the... Uh-oh. How do I switch characters? Okay. I have it on all 3 games? That's interesting. That's probably why I can't do what I want to. Okay. I'm gonna have to fix this because it's actually gonna... If I can't switch characters, it's gonna mess with my game. So, give me a second here. I'm gonna turn the cheats off and we're gonna restart this. So, let me go back to... Come on. There we go. Let you guys keep going on the chat here. I had no idea I had cheats on this thing, still. Let me go back to... Menu. Configuration. In-game settings. There we go. Must have had to capture footage for this last time I was in here. Alright. This is going to be weird if this is the only one I did without cheats. Apparently, I didn't realize they were on during Donkey Kong Country or Donkey Kong Country 2. And then half of me was like, well, why turn them back on? I've already played most of the game without them. Yeah, it's on Prime Video in the UK. It probably is on mine in here, too. I assume it's on streaming somewhere. I assume it's on streaming somewhere because I've seen so many memes about it. Oh, I gotta sit through his dialogue again. Kiddy Kong. There's a lot of controversy with this game in terms of what, you know, what they changed. People didn't like Kiddy Kong with his little feety pajamas and whatever the tails are on his feety pajamas. But it was just basically a way to pair Dixie with Donkey Kong without bringing Donkey Kong back. So do the younger generation not like House? Well, that's the thing, OXO. I can't figure it out. They make fun of it mercilessly, and then, like, for its content. For, like, oh, you couldn't make a show like this today. At least the kids that I was talking to. There we go. Yeah, that was not working when I had the things on, so... Now we're cooking with gas, as my dad would say. And I can be hurt. Great. I'm going to forget that I turned that back off. Hey, Adam Green. Welcome to the stream. I was a poet and didn't know it. Yes, I shaved. It was December 1st is today. So yesterday ended No Shave November. So, yeah, I gotta tell you, there was a few of you, and I think you may have been one of them. That's, were trying to encourage me to keep the beard. I slept so good last night, though, because I didn't have I had a better seal with my... Technically it's a BiPAP, but I'll call it a CPAP. I sleep so much better without that beard. That's probably half the reason for my migraine yesterday, actually. Oh, let's see. I didn't do it, hang on. There's a way to do it, but it's like a frame perfect way you gotta do it. Let's see here. And I want to test it. You gotta roll. Nope. You gotta roll into the water. That's not it. Interesting. Yeah, I just keep doing it too early. There's a way to bounce off the water, I think. I don't need to do it, but it's kind of fun to do. And off we go. But yeah, I also got my hair cut as well. Because it was starting to get pretty shaggy. I don't know if you guys were noticing that in the streams or not. And what's interesting is when I turned on the camera today, was the first time I've seen it since I got my hair cut. It gets pretty white when it's short. It gets darker the longer I let it grow out, so maybe I'll have to leave it longer. But little too much information you might want to know about me is I don't like getting my hair cuts. And I don't know if it goes back to childhood or not. I just really don't like getting a haircut. I'm sure that's something that therapists would love to analyze with me here at some point. Be like, so why don't you like getting a haircut? So OXO, that's the other reason why. So I tried growing a beard during lockdown. Just made you look like a hobo. That's the other thing too, is my beard grows in very scraggly. My hair is actually supposed to be more curly, but I basically use whatever chemicals I can to get it to stay as straight as possible. So yes, believe it or not, the same haircut I've had since like 3rd grade is the same one I have, but I have to make some effort to get it to do that. Like I said, it takes effort to look this good, is what I tell some of the students. Well, either that, or I'll tell them, I just wake up when they say, "Oh, what do you do for your hair?" And I said, "Oh, I do nothing for my hair. I just wake up like this." Usually when they have like a pajama dress-up day, that's what I tell them. Hey, I see Pizza Boy. Welcome to the stream. How was your Thanksgiving? Or Thursday, if Thanksgiving doesn't apply to you. You know, it's gotten so dry here because of the temperature just kind of tanked. I think today the high was like 22. And whenever it's like that, my throat gets really dry, so it kind of warms up a little bit. I'm going to forewarn you too, I'm kind of getting over a migraine, so if I all of a sudden get quiet and then stop talking, that's probably the reason why. It was really bad yesterday. Couldn't see straight, got really nauseous. And I still debated on going out, but my friend usually likes to do dinner and a movie. And I'm like, there's no way I can sit through a movie. Giant bright white screen in a dark room with very loud sound. I mean, how else would you fix a migraine? Chewing on popcorn and extra caffeinated soda. Didn't really have one this year. Had to work a double. Hey, do you get holiday pay for that? Good, been very good, yes. I was going to say, at least that's kind of the silver lining, I'll say, for most people. If you can get holiday pay for it, if I got holiday pay for it, I would consider working on Thanksgiving. I can always join it before or after, but you said you worked a double, so... Sometimes the break, just having the break is nice, but... I also appreciate in certain times, too, like when people would have families and things like that, the only times I could work Thanksgiving, I usually volunteered to, because I'm like, hey, if you got kids and a family and, you know, you actually like spending time with them, I have no problem working the shifts so you don't have to. But only if I got the holiday pay. Whoops. Wrong one. I can't remember how long it took me to figure out that you can do that. Oops, come on, lay down. And here we go. For Christmas, you get triple time? Heck yeah. Hopefully you make more than $1 an hour, though, because then that's like $3 an hour. Oh, look, Wrinkly's playing the N64. Or at least she's holding the controller. I can't really say she's playing it. I would have laughed if they put, like, Mario 64 as the game she was playing and actually, like, did a preview of it on the Super Nintendo. Being like, see, we don't need a new console. The Super Nintendo can do this, too. I mean, for $60 an hour, you can do Christmas on another day. Take off, like, December 5th or something like that. Welcome to the bonus area. You'll see me get quiet every time for that, because I'm, like, really... I gotta focus and lock in, just like on Simon. That's the easiest one you can do, and then it gets harder as you go along. And yes, I'm skipping the house in the middle, because I can't really do anything with that yet. Oh, that was fun. Every time I'm doing it just a little bit too early, because it's like a frame-perfect jump you gotta do. There it is. See that? That'll probably be the only time I can get it right. I wanted to show people that because apparently that's how you're supposed to do one of the bonus areas here. I can't remember. Here, I'll sacrifice one. You know what? Now I know why I would have turned on invincibility. I remember that those little, like, clamshell squitter thingies are not fun to deal with. Alright, let's see if I can do this again. Maybe you can only do it twice? And that's a trap. I don't need those coins that bad, and there's easier ways to get them. I do need the ability to switch characters. I don't know why it shuts that off. Oh, I almost thought it. That's got to be almost a frame-perfect jump there as well. Nice. Just lately, I've been opting to work on Saturdays and need the money for Christmas. Oh yeah, that's part of the reasons why. Whoops, didn't mean to do that again. But hey, that was so easy. I'll do it again. That's part of the reason why I do our football clock timing, because it pays... Basically, that's how I pay for Christmas every year. Also helps me get more involved with the school. Kids know that I do it, so they know that I'm helping support them. It's a win-win all around. But if they didn't pay me for it, I probably wouldn't work the game. I'd probably just go and watch it. The older your kids get, the more Christmas costs. That's... yeah, I can see that. I will say, well, I don't know. For me, I had more disposable income back when my niece and nephew were younger, so I didn't mind spending a little extra money on them. But now, yes, I'm like, now it seems like it costs more because they're older. And here we go with the first of our, I guess, Christmas-themed levels here. It was suggested that maybe I play more Christmas games, but to tell you the truth, there aren't that many that are out there. A lot of them are like shovelware. I do plan to stream some closer to Christmas. I've got that Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer game for the Wii that I have to try out. Took her niece to see Wolf Lodge in Ooh, I missed that. In Sandusky for her birthday. Just the water park indoors. That's awesome. Hey, Crystal Set. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. So do you like the TurboGrafx retrospective? There should be 2 more of those coming out. When I combine the Neo Geo AES and the Super Nintendo. The Super Nintendo one might kill iMovie, so we'll have to see. I'm surprised it's handling the 3-hour edits the way it is. I mean, it takes a long time for it to render, but it's powering through like a champ. Oops. This one's gotta be, there we go. And here we go. Oh, how's the Scholastic Bowl meeting? It worked out. It was longer than it needed to be, but it didn't go too long, which was nice. We basically set dates for the season, who's hosting home meets, went over any rule changes for the year, so Appreciate you asking. I'm actually surprised that you guys remember that kind of stuff. I guess you guys will remember when I have to cut early for a stream. That was my first time streaming this early. It seems to work out better for like mid-afternoon than the evening for people to attend, so I'm trying to get as early as I can. What we did today, I met a couple of friends for Chinese buffet lunch, which is something we usually do on Sundays. He brings his daughter, which is cute because he's got her interested in Chinese because nobody else in his family likes Chinese food. Or at least Chinese buffet. So he's trying to get his daughter hooked on it so that he has someone to go eat Chinese with him later on in life, I guess. You said you only own three games for your TurboGrafx 16. When you say only, I say that's... I mean, I kind of says that's a lot. I know it's a lot because... Oh, dang it. Yeah. You know what? I'm just going to go and grab it. Why not? I say that's a lot because I know how much the games cost. The ones that I had to collect. I own probably close to... That's what I wanted. You know, I'll have to look it up because it's TurboGrafx CD is probably included in that. It's pretty close. If I hit the mice in the light, it doesn't like that. The elephant loses a life. I will say the first game I purchased, actually, can you guys guess? It was before I had a TurboGrafx console. Because I was able to find it very easily. Can you guys guess what the first TurboGrafx game I bought was? Those of you that know TurboGrafx games. And I may have said it in the video. You gotta be careful or else that barrel will despawn. And the red bees, or the red buzzsaws, whatever these are indestructible. There is a challenge, whoops, there is a challenge where you can try to get through here without taking damage, but I figure it's just easier just to keep going back and forth. As I said, there's a way to do this. Okay. Oh, okay. Thought it was gonna hit me. Ooh, Blazing Lasers. T.I. Cal, welcome to the stream. Bonk, Keith Courage, Final Lap Twin. Are you telling me those? Oh, those are the ones you own. Okay. I didn't know if you were trying to guess or not. Love Final Lap Twin. Final Lap Twin's pretty good. Really haven't played the TurboGrafx 16 months. So I will say it because it's part of your list was Keith Courage and Alpha Zones. So you just get scared. There we go. So that was the first one I had ever... That's the first one I had purchased, and I got it because I'm like, oh, it's a TurboGrafx 16 game. I always wondered what those looked like, so I just grabbed it to try it out. And I was like, oh, apparently this game's, like, common. Like, I can still go to most retro game stores that have any of those games, and they're gonna have Keith Courage. Ah. That's the thing that's probably gonna kill me here, is my aim is not so good anymore. Now, who says this game's more kiddie than the other two? When are they going to remaster these in HD? Apparently they already remastered them once on the Game Boy Advance. Which this game got the most changes out of all of them. Oh, I think I just won. That's right. What a boss level. That game's incredible. This one is actually tedious before you know how to play it. Hey, Nick Gamer, welcome to the stream. Hello to you as well. I'll ask because I'm asking everybody how your Thanksgiving went, or Thursday if that's all that applies. Yeah, you said it was the packing game, so you figured it wouldn't be that. Yeah, the next one I bought was actually a lot of like 20 of them. And I did have a video about that. Yeah, Blazing Lasers, Bonk and Bonk's Revenge. Gosh, what else was in that? Probably Final Lap Twin. I think the second... Actually, no, I'm sorry. The second game I bought, I think, was World Class Baseball, I found. And then the game I got with the console was... Oh, that one glitched. What was it called? It's Wonder Boy 3, but it's the TurboGrafx version. They call it Dragon's Lair. That's what it's called. Yeah, I know. This warps me right to the end, and I don't like this level, so I'm just gonna skip it. Yep. Yeah, well, I bought the TurboGrafx years later, not with the, Yeah, I didn't buy it new. In fact, I still remember I got it from a really cool retro game store down in Champaign, Illinois. Near campus of the University of Illinois, but the problem is I can't find that store again. They've moved, and I can't find where they moved it to, if they even have a store at all. But once a year, they're still at that GameCon that I go to. And I did ask them where they're at, and they said that they have a storefront still in Champaign, but or Urbana, and I can't find it. That would have been great to, That's okay. No! I didn't realize that doesn't stop the clock. I'm above pace now, right? Oops, come on. I know that's dangerous, isn't it? Come on. Ah! No! There we go. The whole point of this is they don't tell you anything about the timer. You can still beat the game without getting a good time on it. Or beat the level without getting a good time on it. Yep. Wonder Boy and Monster World, yep. That's a great game. I was kind of surprised that that was the game. When I bought it, I'm like, oh, Dragon's Curse. Sorry. Not Dragon's Lair. Oops. Completely missed that. And that is a good game for the system. It was expensive. I considered it expensive for the time because it was like... Come on. I considered it expensive for the time because it was like 40 bucks loose, like without the box art and everything. And I'm like, huh. But the guy, I think it was the guy who ran the store, convinced me to buy it. Either that or it was like the only game he had that I didn't already have. Ooh, yeah, this game really got changes in, dang it. On the Game Boy Advance. I should have just started playing that one, actually, now that I think about it. The Game Boy Advance version of this game, because I just now thought of a Game Boy Advance Christmas game I could play. I think Elf Bowling got a Game Boy Advance port. Playing Sweet Tooth driving around that snowy Christmas scene. I always thought of the original Twisted Metal for PlayStation 1 as a Christmas game. That's an interesting take. Because it came out at Christmas for you? I remember Twisted Metal was like one of the reasons to get a PlayStation back when we were like arguing which one was better, or N64 or that. Like that game had a reputation, and then it like disappeared right at the PlayStation 2 era. I think there was a PlayStation 3 game that came out for it, but I don't think there was one for PS4. Think of all these live service games that are out there, this one would have been a good one. Alright. Yep, I'm definitely going to need to come back here once I get my second player. See, this barrel is just in a very inconvenient spot. There we go. More Class Baseball is legit. Gotta stay as Tokyo Ninja. Fukushima and Yama, yep. Oops. And I forgot I wanted to switch to Dixie, because Dixie does make this one a little bit easier. You're not difficult, but tedious. And then not knowing where the not knowing where you're gonna slide off the edges of that is kind of thing. Did I complete the Spyro on live streams? Complete? No. I got through 1 and 2, and then what was I doing? What was the next stream after that? There was something else I wanted to stream, and I've not gotten back to Year of the Dragon, but I do plan to get to Year of the Dragon eventually. And I didn't complete any of them on stream. No! Do you know what I just did? That's one of the dumbest things in this game. Okay, never mind. I was gonna say, I didn't think I was gonna be able to get Dixie back. Basically, you can throw her, she gets hurt, and just stays there. Same thing with him. You can do the same thing with him. They don't just automatically always come back to you. And there's absolutely no reason why that has to be the case. See ya. The slowdown in this game is very real. I don't know if you guys have noticed it yet. But it happens for seemingly no reason in certain spots of the game. And back to the beginning of the game. Free up. And we got it. Can also download the yearly Retro USB Christmas NES games. They are free downloads. Oh, yeah. That's a good suggestion, Beasters. And because I'm not going to remember that, because I can never remember anything for more than 2 seconds. By the way, welcome to the stream if I didn't say so already. Let's see if I got a slip of paper in here. No, I used to have a sticky notes pad over here for this exact purpose. Put it on the back of a CD sleeve, why not? Rudolph, Santa Claus is coming to town. We wish you a Merry Christmas. Lucky to have those. Yep. The Wii has 3 physical games. I do have the Wii's Rudolph game. I don't remember if I have any of the 2. Any of the other 2. There we go. Retro. Whoops. USB. Xmas. NES games. This is why I need like a manager or something like that who watches the stream for me that can remind me of all this stuff. I can barely keep track of everything in my head. There's actually 2 PlayStation 3 Twisted Metals, both excellent in your opinion. I thought I remembered seeing 1. I do not remember there being 2. I'm sure the online on that had to be crazy. Because that is a game that I'm like, especially now, since Sony appears to be like... Sony, especially now, needs some help with some live service games. Twisted Metal seems like an obvious one. Like, you'll get the retro crowd. If you can keep the gameplay... Oh, if you can keep the gameplay intact, you can get the younger crowd with it. I know there's no timer on this, but... As you might have guessed, I'm in a hurry. Hey, Stefan, welcome to the stream. Have a good Thanksgiving. Atari VCS bundle on sale today. Oh, I may not make it through this one, because I get very impatient. It gives you plenty of time. But these things give me so much darn anxiety, and they just keep putting them right in the area where I don't want them to be. 4, 3, 2, see? Like right there. There we go. And then sometimes I'll just immediately drop down forgetting that this guy's there. Yeah, not fun. Only Onyx the Walnut sold out? Well, I mean, I'm assuming the Darth Vader model is going to look more visually appealing, but for people who want that classic aesthetic, they're going to want the wood grain, right? That's pretty neat, though. Thanks for sharing that one. Anyone remember who it was who initially shared the Xbox fridge thing? When they were, like, being clearanced out, the smaller Xbox fridges were being clearanced out. I guess they're not really technically a fridge. Technically, they are the, cooler, that's what they called it. Ooh. Oh, I thought I was gonna make it. Do you not like these things? That is the only way you can kill them. And the spinning around thing is the only mechanic in this game I really feel like is definitely broken. I think I need need my power up to get that with my power up buddy. So any chance you can keep going with that? They did a Grinch and Mario game 2 years ago. Excite Duck is a sledding game. Have those been taken down, though? Because if they reference Nintendo, chances are they're going to get taken down, right? Oh no! I don't think I'm going to make it. 2, 1, nope. Oh, that was so close. I was gonna say, I will die just inside of it, is what I was about to say. Hey, I'll give Rare credit. That's the first time I've seen them help me. They still sell them? Interesting. Well, I guess I need to quit bad-mouthing Nintendo, right? Unfortunately, I haven't played the NE Online, so I don't think it's available anymore. Oh, that's probably true. What? You can't have beaten my time. You make me so angry I could open up the rest of the stage for you. That's what that's supposed to say, but it says ... I can tell I still have some remnants of my migraine because that shaking of the screen was getting me a little motion sick. It's crazy what migraines do. When people tell me that this soundtrack isn't like... Oh. Throw that up there. Anyway. Did not mean to do that. I feel like this is one of the songs in here where the soundtrack isn't very strong. Indestructible except for TNT barrel. Right. Well, why did the other barrel disappear? That's crazy. So I said sometimes the, Oh, now I'm out of water. Well, I'm just messing up all sorts of things today. Oh, wait a minute, wait a minute. Yeah. This thing's despawn really quickly. I feel a lag. There is a way to get that, and here it is. You just gotta be high enough. Otherwise the elephant doesn't swim. Or doesn't dive. Slow down here for no reason. Must be the calculation that the fish is using to get you there. Probably too much for the CPU. And one of the chat bots would like to know how to get cheap views for your channel if you're interested. I know I shouldn't read those, I should just ignore them, but... Hey, if they're gonna waste my time with them, might as well. If they took the time to waste my time... Wow. See that slow down? It's almost like... You know what? I'm going to take back everything I ever said nice about this game. This game stinks. I've been defending this game for years, so those of you that have followed me for a while, hearing me say that would be like, what? I'm saying, Donkey Kong Country 3 is not that bad. It's more of what made 2 great, with some, I don't want to say refinements, but once people got the info that Rare put their B team on this game so they can move on to like Banjo-Kazooie and all that, people are like, oh, this game must have been so terrible then. I'm like, it's not. It's still good. But out of the 3, this one would be my least favorite out of the trilogy. But still, a 9 out of 10 is still good. Beasters. So this is why... That's actually one of my biggest fears, just people going and taking things out of context. Boom! This guy's render could use some work. His face doesn't match his body. And his body is like two different renderings slapped onto each other. And I have no idea what he is spitting out, those green blips. And yes, this is the opposite of Cuphead. You can just seriously just sit in one spot. And this guy's pattern never deviates. What's going on with his eyes every time he shoots green stuff out of his mouth? Oh! I got too impatient. Now I'm Sad Panda. I guess, maybe that's not what I did. Oh, I didn't see it was still up there. That's the first death of the game. I know you're joking, but seriously speaking, never got why people like the DKC games just in general, all of them. Played the first two via neighborhood trades, yep, and renting it. They just wasn't it. Yeah, I mean, I think the big draw to kids was not the gameplay, it was the graphics. Like, this game was on a whole nother level of... Oh. This game is a whole nother level of graphics. The only reason why people play this game, I don't say the only reason, but one of the only reasons why people play this game was because this game proved to kids, proved that this console was superior to the Sega Genesis. That's what it was all about back in the day. So that's one of those things where people are like, well, it's not even that great of a game. I'm like, it's a competent platformer. It's a very good platformer. But if that's not your thing, you're not going to like this game. So I get it. It's not everybody's thing. I can't honestly expect people who like Fortnite and Minecraft to be like, oh, you're going to love DKC on the Super Nintendo. That's just, it's two different games. Maybe people who like Fortnite would like it. Okay. Let me drop the barrel. There we go. Pick up the barrel. There he is. See how close I was to hitting him? New to DKC, and you're the same. They look just okay to you. Slow for you. Oh, well, yeah. Well, that's the other thing, too, is that was the argument back in the day, right? Was that the Super Nintendo was slower and Sonic was faster. Notice how I said Sonic was faster, not the entire system, but the entire Super Nintendo was slow, and that I agree with. He said he let the cat out of the bag, but I wasn't paying attention to him. I forgot what I need for him. You guys want another one of these puzzles? How you're supposed to know these are there, I have no idea. Seriously, I don't know why. I have to lock in my brain every time and not talk, or else I won't get those. And can I get past this yet? Nope. But I'm about to. Feel you? You were 14 when the first DKC came out. It looked cool, but your mind wasn't blown. Really? Oh, it blew my mind back in the day. But I would have been 8. And of course, the video they sent out really had an influence on me. Like the first time I actually thought to myself, like, huh, And they're kind of saying, like, we use these professional workstations. In my mind, it literally just made so much sense to me that they were doing it. But what they were doing was basically creating animated GIFs of their graphics, rendering the graphics beforehand, pre-rendering graphics. It just made sense to me. I'm like, I thought that was really neat. Like, the Super Nintendo is not possible of displaying these graphics, so let's just make a picture that the Super Nintendo can show, and that would be good. Sonic 2 absolutely destroys this in terms of fun. Sonic 2 is a great game. I'm not going to say it's not. But there's advantages to Sonic 2 that this game doesn't have. And I mean, this game being the weakest, let's go back to just call it Donkey Kong Country 2, because that's the pinnacle in my opinion. That's the real good one. And even still, I don't know if those games are even comparable to me, because I like them both, but I like them both for different reasons. I don't like them because they're the same. I like them because they are different. Sorry, I feel like I just channeled JFK for a second. We play these games not because they are easy, but because they are hard. That's actually the opposite of most gamers' creeds, I think. People who like Dark Souls and Elden Ring and all them, those are the people who would enjoy that comment. People who like these games, I don't think are playing them too much for the challenge. I mean, don't get me wrong. Back in the day when I first played these, there is some challenge. Once you get all the obstacles memorized, though, you're pretty well can speed through this. And as soon as I knew as soon as I started saying how easy this game is, I was gonna mess up. I don't plan it that way. It's just the way my brain works. My brain's like, oh, he's getting too cocky. Knock him down a peg. I will say these graphics, when I was talking about how impressive these graphics are for the Super Nintendo, I am specifically referring to them on a CRT. These are not as... Oops, nope, that's not it. No. This is going to be close. These graphics are not as impressive on something that's not a CRT. And I did it again. Oops, I did it again. I played with your heart, got lost in the game, oh baby, baby. Sonic Tuesday. Oh, Super Mario World is fast? It's kind of funny, Sega's own marketing was saying that Super Mario World is slow. Although I agree, that's faster-paced gameplay than what they were doing before. So that's what I should have done the first time, but those banana peels were really just getting rid of me. The timer's actually kind of tight there. Played a lot of SNES as a kid, but was limited to Super Mario World and Kart, SimCity, and All-Stars. I mean, name a bad game out of that bunch. And a fishing game you found at a rental store. All of those are, definitely some of the best experiences you want to have on the system. Maybe not SimCity. I don't think SimCity lives up just because of the control scheme. If it used the Super Nintendo mouse or there's a way to get it to happen, I would say SimCity is definitely still worth playing the first one. Something up here. That's what I thought. Follow the bananas. JFK was a different player, but a different kind of one, as we all know. Oh yeah, that's true. Don't hate the player, hate the game applied to him, right? The only challenge with this is how they had to fake the 3D here. Because they stay the same size pretty much the whole way through. They just have different animation frames to make it appear like they're moving forward and backwards. Ooh, just barely. This level is close to lazy game design because they basically give you the same obstacles forward and backwards, which some people have said is excellent game design because if you can play the level forward and backwards, that means it was really good game design. It's dual purpose. I consider it lazy though. That's just me. I'm sure if I made a game, I'd probably try to do that as well. But I'm still not going to argue that it's not lazy game design. Ask not what your banana horde can do for you. Sorry. What other JFK... I just like that we play these games not because they're easy, but because they're hard. What other JFK quotes about video games can we get? And yes... Oh, well, that is a little fresh in my mind since we just passed an anniversary of his shooting. Or should I start going on the conspiracy theory and ask, was JFK team killed? Whoops. Okay. I thought I was gonna get a break there for a second. I know I don't need to kill those bees, I just like to. What? That was like a frame difference. And now, I can't take another hit like that. One more hit like that and we're done for. That's it. I do it too. I'm like, I'm not feeling this. Lost levels is the most insane thing for you back then. It's the main reason why you ended up with a Super Nintendo. Lost levels, as a kid, I did not like that. At all. And I mean as a kid, I would have been 8 years old when we got that. 7 or 8. So I did not appreciate the challenge, and the main reason why I didn't appreciate the challenge back then is... Sorry, hang on. Might have to concentrate here. The main reason why I didn't appreciate the challenge back then is because it was all what I consider to be unfair challenges. Like, how am I supposed to know that this blind jump that I'm doing is what I need to do? See how that worked out that time? But it didn't work out the time when I didn't have another life to waste? Again, that's almost a frame-perfect jump you gotta do there a bit. Some of this game can be tedious, some of it might not be. But yeah, I didn't appreciate the unfairness of it. But it was, like, Lost Levels is like what you play on, some of the levels that you play. Oh gosh, this level gives me so much anxiety. Is like what you play on Mario Maker. So it's like the first Mario Maker / Mario modding game. So as I've gotten older, I appreciate it a bit more. Basically, we got Miyamoto's version of Mario Maker before it came out. But I'm also not the biggest fan of Mario 1, so I guess that might have also, like, in terms of, like, the physics engine, I understand what they were going for with making it, like, more realistic, where Mario doesn't stop on a dime, and he has to ramp up to go. But then they started having too much fun with it in the sequel. And again, the timer on this level that flashes makes no difference. Unless you get to the coin before the saw gets up there, timer makes no difference. Oh, I thought I hit I was helicoptering there. They're pretty proud of this level design, I think. I can't believe I used to make it through this without taking any damage. Was this level added in because of all the anti-deforestation and environmentalism stuff of the 90s? Like Fern Gully? The last rainforest kind of stuff? Oh, I needed that. That's right. If I would have got the invulnerability, I could have got the DK coin. That's right. Alright, now I can catch up on chat. Don't know how much interest Lost Levels was to other kids. Yep, okay, so I already told you that one. Yep. But it may as well have been the Holy Grail to you. I appreciate it now more than I did back then. But yeah, I personally don't think it's a game for kids. I don't think that's the same audience as the original Super Mario Brothers. I need to get that on a t-shirt. JFK, the other kind of gamer. And we choose to play the game not because it is easy, but because it is hard. I know, the worse you do the impersonation, I think the better the impersonation is. Realized as a kid it was not as good as Mario 1. Mario 1 would be your favorite game so a direct unknown sequel out of nowhere blew your mind. Oh yeah, that was something that... It didn't even occur to me, like, where did the Lost Levels come from kind of thing. That's not a question I even asked myself back in the day. Like, to me, it was like, oh, these are levels that didn't make it into the game, is what I thought they were. And no joke, it wasn't until YouTube that I learned that Super Mario Bros. 2 was not the Super Mario Bros. 2 that came out in Japan. Oh, I missed Squitter. Apparently I did not. Because here's where he needs to go. Ooh. Oh, how cheap is that? I can't remember. It was not, I'm trying to remember the YouTuber who showed that to me first. I will say it's not the one that everyone else would talk about first. But it was like maybe a parody of... Oh, who was that YouTuber? And I just remember the way it was presented was just like... was exactly how I would have thought about it. One of the influences of why I came up with a YouTube channel, because I was like, this is stuff that not even, like, none of my friends know. Oh, I meant to do that. Why is he back to TNT crates? Insanity. Oh, they still should have been on barrels. I'll think of it here in a second. It's like one of the first YouTube videos I remember watching. Like, and being like, hey, this, like, people could make, like, shows on YouTube about video games? That'd be interesting. Come to think of it, didn't question it either. Had no idea that it wasn't legit. Yeah, like, and there's still some of my, I don't want to say any of my friends, there's still some people that don't know. That grew up with it. And so I'm like one of those people where I'm like, yeah, I'm going to tell everybody because that's interesting. That's a part of game history. Whoops, that's a part of game history that everybody grew up with Super Mario Bros. 2 from that era. Like, there's no way you grew up in that era and were not aware of what Super Mario Bros. 2 was. I mean, that was like one of the first video games that was like hard to find when it first came out. Irate Gamer. Gosh, I got really quiet because I'm like, darn it. I forgot that he like jumps up a little bit before he gets off the wire. I don't know if anyone else has ever heard of that YouTuber. I don't even know. Is that guy still around? Basically, he was seen as like, yep, that's death. Well, not gonna get that bonus barrel. No reason to have that. Oh, I did the rolling thing. I thought they were mice. I don't know if anyone else has ever heard of it. I wouldn't say I recommend that YouTuber. I just remember that was like the first one I've seen. I heard about that one before I heard about the more, what I consider to be, I guess, the more popular one. It's kind of crazy. The first YouTube video I ever remember watching on my phone was a speed run of Super Mario Bros. 3. Back when the world record was like 9 minutes and something seconds. Which I know now is really not the world record. I think it's even because they can glitch to get to the end, I guess. There it is. Even if you just watch footage of the Jaguar and whatnot, is insane. Easily available on YouTube. All right, yeah. That's how, like, that was one of my biggest things. I'm like, okay, all these game systems that I couldn't afford or, you know, didn't grow up with, now I can learn more about them. Like, that was another thing that I was like, YouTube was, like, gonna help me do. So I like, but yeah, the speed running thing was like probably one of the first things I remember watching a lot of on YouTube. Barely didn't get that one. Nostalgic Soul said that you've watched them. Yep. Walmart has the VCS Walnut bundle. Just sold all their Onyx bundles 5 minutes ago. Good deal, comes with the controller. Nice. Oh, it's this level. Okay. This one is kind of tedious. Basically, I wonder, are they like in a moon environment? Or is this filled with some sort of fluid? And if it's filled with some sort of fluid, it's green, so I'm thinking it's got to be toxic sewage, right? Apparently, monkeys, or apes, or whatever, Donkey Kongs, can breathe in whatever this is. I remember there's certain areas in here that aren't worth the risk, and I would agree that this is one of them. But again, this is something I never questioned back in the day. Ooh. Yep, I was like, I need to get over, and I hesitated, and that just killed me. Never got into the whole angry game YouTuber thing. Yeah, even that wore on you for after a minute. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I don't watch any of the things like that now. And that's kind of one of the... I would be remiss if I didn't say it. That's an inspiration for this channel, is that I am specifically not angry in my videos, because I'm like that. That stuff just seemed to be more about the skits than it was about the games. And it was crazy to me that more than one person was doing something like that. It took me a long time to get like a confidence level up to where I decided to like I should start out with something with YouTube and video games. Because of course, one of the things at the time was I'm like I didn't have as massive of a game collection back then. And of course, when I see other YouTubers with like these massive wall shelves full of video games and things like that behind them, I'm like, oh, well, you know, they probably do this for a living, so they have the money to do that kind of stuff. I just don't. And then, of course, as my working career's gone forward and not having kids or a family to support, I'm like, okay. Maybe I can do something like that. But that's kind of the thing I tell people the most. If they want to start with like YouTube gaming and stuff like that, I'm like, I did not need to wait until I felt like I had a good enough game collection to be... Oh, so close. To be a YouTuber. That was kind of a, I say, a silly thought to me. There we go. Oh, really? Just did a video on Blaster Master? I haven't seen that. What? Wait. Why Blaster Master? I might admit that... okay, I'll go through my thing with that. I've streamed that game on here before, I think. It's been a while. Blaster Master is a good game, so why would they do that one? Anyway, I guess I'll have to watch and see and find out. I'm not opposed to watching it, I'm just... Like I said, that's not the content that I deal with. And that's not one I recommend. I definitely can't recommend that to, like, students. So that's, like, another thing I have to keep in mind. Like, that's the thing, like, some of those videos, I was like, okay, even if I did want to recommend that to people, I can't because of the content. Like, that's the thing, too, because they're cursing most of the time for comedic effect. And I'm like, that's just... I think it also gave, like, gaming culture a bit of a bad name. Because that's just toxic video game culture, right? Everyone says... there were some people who were telling me, oh, cursing is part of the video game experience. I'm like, well, it doesn't have to be. That's part of a toxic video game experience. And not that it doesn't exist, it's just that it doesn't need to be out there. And it doesn't need to be me putting it out there. Anyway. I'm going to stop talking before I get into too much trouble. Like, I'm not against people doing their own thing. It's just not for me kind of thing. Don't know if you guys here watched Talking Classics. No, I did not. Huh. So that's the thing. We all had some similar, and we all had different experiences on YouTube, right? But I guess I should go with that. So what was like the first thing you guys remember seeing on YouTube? Or Twitch. Go with either platform. I'm trying to remember. The first thing I remember seeing on Twitch was like a Fortnite streamer. First thing I remember seeing on YouTube on my phone was the speedrun. Was I supposed to be killing all these? I think I skipped some. No, okay. Let's just find the coin. Was better when it was more natural, now it's just a scripted production. See, that's the funny thing is some people say, and I mean, you guys can have opinions on it either way, that's fine. But I also think, too, like, I realized very early on that it was a scripted production more than reviews, and that's been my only biggest problem with that particular YouTuber. One of the reasons why this channel exists is kind of the antithesis of skits. Like, I'm not... Because it's all about, the, like, that person went to, like, film school for, like, video production. And I kind of got the feeling like this just kind of stuck, so that's what they do. So it's kind of like a be careful what you wish for kind of thing, because then you'll just become known for that one thing. Like I said, for some people, I'll wish all the happiness and success in the world. What am I doing here? Am I going the right way? Oops, come on. I think I just skipped part of the level, or I'm going backwards through it. I can't remember. Yep. 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 This is going to be interesting. Yeah. Oh well. If you guys heard me, like, inhale quickly, that was genuine anxiety you guys were seeing. That's not scripted. Oh. Yeah, I feel like I'm going through this level backwards now. I'm gonna let this kill me and just end up at the halfway point again. Because I don't want to go through that again. Yeah, being about skits was the best part of those videos, and I can agree with those. But it wasn't what I wanted to see in terms of gaming content. It's kind of a weird thing, but you think about it, that's the reason why that genre exists, were those people. Irate Gamer and AVGN. I know somebody left a comment on my last video. Sorry, I just now remembered it. Sorry to bring it up. It's like, oh, please don't mention that. It's like nails on a chalkboard. And I agree. I don't like to mention other YouTubers unless I'm like recommending them. And since I wouldn't recommend that one, that's not one I'd like to talk about. So, my apologies there. Let's see, Civ 5 got you into it for sure. Oh yeah, Croc HD is later this month. I keep forgetting about that. We will see if the next stream can be a. We'll see if that can be a Croc stream. I'll have to find my Saturn. I have it for PlayStation 1, but the Saturn would be a place where I remember playing that one as well. Yeah. Well, that didn't work. Alright, so the key is keep going in the correct direction. I will say this, all anger on this channel is legit. No. That would be something, wouldn't it? Sometimes I will emphasize my anger for comedic effect, but I don't do it often. I don't think I've ever done that in a video. Why do you keep hitting the barrel? I'm sorry, hitting me before you hit the barrel. That's the question. Okay, so this is where I got switched up last time. Ooh. I wonder, where are you at? Yep. I wonder, but I don't wonder that much. Oh, there it is. Just that simple, right? And I gotta time this just right. Okay. Got it. So Civ 5 got you into? Totally agree about a lot of cursing in games and live streams. Something you're keen on? Yeah. Not something you're keen on. There you go. Yeah, it's like I said, it's just... Sometimes I feel like it's overdone. Now, if it's natural... Like, I get it in the natural swing of things, but... You guys have heard me on stream. I'm able to refrain from it. Able to refrain from it. And even sneak in some other words instead. That's where I said I'm like... If you see me upset on stream, hang on a second, I'm going to sneeze again. Can't see, I feel like I have to, and no I can't. So I said when I get upset, I'll say fudge. When I get really upset, I'll say double fudge. And if I'm at max, like, upsetness... Fudge sickle. Like that's got That's got some of the same like syllables you want to hear when you're upset, that kind of stuff. So that's what I've been doing. So Beaster says, usually like the raunchier content, but you come here because no fanboys, authentic videos, can't watch funny people. I think that's, and you know what, Beasters, you hit the nail on the head. That is what I have more of a problem with. So when I say, like, it seems like people are doing it for effect, that seems phony to me. So yeah, I guess I would say that just be authentic. I have no idea what the first thing that you saw on YouTube. 45, started watching Twitch only about a year ago. A small show that covers MMOs. Nice. Yeah, is there any... Do they do, like, pre-recorded shows on Twitch? Or is that Twitch just all live stream? Like, that's all I use it for, so that's what I was curious about. Once you announce the sneeze, it goes away. Those are the rules, yes. OXO is asking, in a normal day, in a normal day-to-day life, would I say I'm a pretty mild-mannered person? Yeah, I would say so. Like, it takes a lot. Like, I don't get... There was actually... I worked with someone for about... Oh gosh, he knew me for about 15 years, but I worked with him side by side for like 6-7 years. And finally, like, about a month before he retired, he asked me, do you ever get, like, angry? And I just kind of sat there, I was like, what? He's like, I've never seen you, like, get angry and yell and all that stuff. I'm like, yeah. I was like, there's a lot of times where I'm just going, it's alright. It'll work itself out kind of thing. There's certain things, and it's kind of funny, my friends will be like, the things that I do get worked up about are, like, seem trivial. Like, that's the... Like, that's the thing, the things that I do get upset about. But, no, I mean, I would say I'm pretty mild-mannered. And I don't curse a lot either, but you know what the funny thing is? When I do curse with my friends, it's because I want to be funny. Like, it's for comedic effect. I'm such a hypocrite with some things sometimes, and hypocrisy is another thing I really don't like, so the fact that I can admit that I'm being hypocritical in some things is something. Nostalgic Soul says, yep, oh, fudge. That's part of the reason why I got there. Double fudge. I don't know where that came from, but fudge sickle is because it's like, it's almost got the same number of syllables as like the grand, like, oh, I'm so upset. And then sometimes I hear me go, fudge. Like, if I want to say an F-bomb, I'm already starting to go, get that sound out there of F. So we got that in there. I am going to take a break here real quick. Oh, Jerome has a JFK quote. Ask not what your Nintendo can do for you, but what you can do for Nintendo. And that's like a slogan of theirs, right? No, they don't like that you're free advertising for them. They got to make money off of your free advertising for them. We choose to play Grand Theft Auto 6 by the end of this decade. Because I personally don't think it's going to come out next year, but we'll see. Well, I'm still waiting on Metroid Prime 4, and that's supposed to come out next year too. Alright, I am going to take a quick break. I did hear my laundry is halfway done, so I got to switch it over to the dryer. Get a quick break, restroom break, and I'll be right back with some more DKC3 and bad-mouthing on other YouTubers and game consoles. So stick around, we will be right back. Maybe. There's the button. Alrighty. Nice quick little break there. But I'm back. And I did think of something, kind of a way of switching the conversation up a little bit. Other people who are online that either do videos or streams that I would recommend. Or, I guess, other people I watch on YouTube. How about that? Like, there's some other ones out there. The only ones I'm thinking of, though, are like some bigger ones. I mean, I hate to say it, for the smaller YouTubers, like I would consider myself still a small YouTuber. I don't really have like one I would recommend, but there's some content I do like out there. But the ones I find myself watching the most are mainly because they're recommended more. And obviously, the more people you have following you, the more views you get, the more the algorithm's gonna kick you up there. So, one of the ones that I have watched for a while, another inspiration for the channel, was 8-Bit Guy. And when I started watching him, he was still the iBook guy. So I've enjoyed the professional quality of his videos for a while. And one of the first videos I remember watching was all about how music and graphics in old school video games worked. And I thought, man, like I haven't covered that myself on this channel because he did such a good job with it, and it's so concise. Oh, thought I was gonna be able to sneak underneath there. So that would be one that I would recommend, and that guy's personally right now like living my dream. Makes his own video game, publishes it himself, and is now starting his own arcade with a couple of his friends. Like, that's a... If that's not living the dream of a retro gamer, I don't know what is. Restoring old arcade machines. Oop, close. That's close. Oh, I missed it. It's very hard to see where those hit points are going to be. Kong's win? Question mark. Does not compute. Next time we meet, Chaos will win. Being bad at drinking a beer. It's a light beer. Low alcohol. Oh, that's alright. Again, I don't partake in that myself. Not bragging about it. But I don't partake in it myself, but that's not too bad. If you started at like 9 a.m. in the shower, I might say you have a problem. But right now it's 5 p.m. for me. I'm sure other people in my family started well before you today. We do want to emulate because, yeah, I'm not going to say the word for that. We're not going to emulate because it's hard, but we emulate because it makes them PO'd. Oh my gosh. And this is, well, that's a good point to bring up, because I will mention emulation, although this is not emulation. It looks good, it's upscaled, but this is on real hardware, real cartridge, real Super Nintendo, all on my being upscaled in the RetroTink 5X, so I guess if that's considered the E word, I don't know what it is. Hey, good evening, Brian. Welcome to the stream. How was your Thanksgiving? And the 8-Bit Guys Arcade is 20-minute drive from your house. If I ever go down there, Stefan, I'll have to let you know ahead of time. Because I do plan to go down there sometime and check it out. I don't know exactly when, though. Because it would be at least a day for me to get down there. Then I have to find out if I'm going to Airbnb or find a hotel to stay at. And of course, I probably won't go by myself. The last time I went down to that area, Dallas-Fort Worth area, I went to the Video Game Museum in Frisco, Texas. This is probably the time of year to go down there and see it, though. Definitely not last time. Last time I went the end of June, and it was hot. I mean, people are just like, oh, well, yeah, of course it's going to be hot. But like, no, you don't understand. It was hot. It's really, really hot. Ich bin ein... I was going to say that, Retro Soul... I'm sorry, Nostalgic Soul. There's Ich bin ein Retro Gamer. Have you guys seen the IT crowd where they make fun of that? Ich bin ein... Oh, one hit kills you. Didn't even think about that. Ich bin ein Nerd. The only other one that you watch, make a point of watching, is Commodore 64 stuff and Amiga. See, and that's something I hope to do someday. Like, that was always my plan, was to, after the 8-bit war sometime, was to go back and do those computers. But I will tell you this, I do not own an Amiga. So that's why I'm waiting for, like, that modern recreation computer that people keep talking about. Right now they just have the Amiga Mini. The Amiga 400 Mini, is that what it is? And so eventually... I would like to do something with that. And I'm a complete stranger to the Amiga. But I would do like I have a Commodore VIC-20, I have a Commodore 64, I have the recreation of the Commodore 64. Oh, my second person didn't last too long. Yep, I just decided to end it. We'll try that again. Hey, Jet Screamer, welcome to the stream. Yeah, all good there. Cold in the UK. Yep, can't go warm either. Negative 14 degrees Celsius in Canada right now. Ooh. I was gonna say we're experiencing cooler than normal temperatures here in the Midwest of central Illinois. So, and when I said 22 degrees, I guess I was meaning 22 degrees Fahrenheit. That'd be what, like negative 8 degrees Celsius, somewhere in there. So just to give you, oops, why? That was genuine frustration, by the way. That wasn't me going for comedic effect, because if it was, I would have been like, suffering succotash. What in tarnation? Yeah, no. Oh. Fine. I see On Guard down there, so I have to go get him. 34 in Connecticut, so almost freezing. That's cold, oh my goodness, yeah. Can get as low as -6 by Wednesday. Ugh. The Amiga thing with the real keyboard, you want really bad. Yes, that's kind of what I'm waiting for. No, nothing about the Amiga. Graphics look great, plus the mouse. That's why I need something that like emulates it instead of owning the real hardware. Because I feel like I would have to have more expertise to own the real hardware. More expertise than I currently can bring to the table. And if it's anything I've learned, like, I got an Atari XE game system. So XEGS. And that thing's fun to own. But there is, I mean, with all that stuff, there's always a learning curve. So you kind of got to get used to the computer. Oh, see, and now I'm going to miss the DK coin because I just killed my animal buddy. Nope. I'm going to get it anyway. I thought this was one where I had to go on the ledge. Leonard Carter, Canada gets to be 33 degrees Celsius, close to -40. Oh, that's nuts. That is cold. Too cold for me. Although, I've always said I'd rather be too cold than too hot, but in that case... That's a tough one. I would rather it not be 108 degrees out. I'm not the biggest fan of extremes. I'm not going for 100% here, so I'm just going to try it. Oh, this is... I just thought about what this level is. This is the level we're going to have some issues with in a little bit, where I have to ride the barrels up. I shouldn't have hesitated. You hesitate once, the next move means death. But here, if you don't hesitate, you die. Consistency. Is that too much to ask for in a video game? Oh yeah, let's do these barrels again. A frame too late. It's like a bridge too far. It's a frame too late. Ah, why not? That's why not. I knew I was gonna mess it up. What did I just do this? There's something over here to get. Bonus barrel, there it is. Just found a $120 Steam Deck online, supposedly overheats after an hour. I was excited to try to fix it. Oh, then the store said they couldn't find it. I hate it when that happens. For 120 bucks, I don't know. That's on the cusp for me of wanting to get it or not. Because those things can be, they can either be easily repairable or easily not repairable. I actually just, one of my students brought in their Steam Deck for me to try to fix. I was able to diagnose it, but I didn't have the parts to fix it. It was a bad USB-C port for sure. It may have also been overheating, but I couldn't troubleshoot it further because of that. So I was very sad and I wasn't able to get it fixed for him because he was like really upset when his Steam Deck wasn't working. But in that case, I would have probably replaced the motherboard. I would have probably replaced the... Ooh. Okay. Death. Life. Because of all the issues I was encountering with it. But that was my first time taking apart a Steam Deck, actually, to try to diagnose and fix it. Yeah, lost my banana bird, too. So this is not the level I was thinking of where you had to ride the barrels up the falls. So that's one of those things where I say it's not worth it. If it's just for bananas, I don't need bananas. What I need are the bear coins. Yep, that's where that would have paid off. Oh, this is frustrating. No! Yep. I'm not going to try for that again. That is a frustrating one to get. Very frustrating. Just open that Amiga thing. Yeah, you can get... there's a lot of abandonware on the Amiga, too. I'm sure you can get whatever for it. Same thing with the C64. And MS-DOS. Love the challenge and time that it sucks up. If GameStop gets more refurbished ones, you can get one for $260. Oh, for the Steam Deck, yeah. Hoping your VCS will come tomorrow, and you'll probably forget about it. Yeah. There's a fight outside your window. Is it a final fight? Sorry, if that was insensitive. See, now you got me wanting to play that game. Which I do have, so I can probably load it up after this. Why on earth do they keep doing that to me? Why do I keep falling for it? That's the better question. I should suss out a situation before I do something like that. Okay. Oh yeah, that's right. There's no benefit to coming over here. And that happens. Well, I didn't lose my banana bird, though. At least not this time. And there's the payoff, where I get a bunch of lives. Alright, perfect. Not gonna do that again. Oh, that's the trick. Okay. I said I wasn't gonna do it, and then I just, like, okay, I'm gonna try it again. But then, see, the trick is the barrel will despawn. Come on. I remember that being incredibly frustrating the first time I played this game. Somebody defused it? Oh, that's good. I was just about to say, I'm like, as much as we're hoping for the fight, I'm hoping that things turn out okay. It's something about this season, the holiday season, that brings out the fight in some people, right? Glad you're 6 floors up. Oh, yeah, that'd be... If there's a fight going on outside my window... No, I guess there's a 2nd floor to my house, but it used to be an attic, so... On yet another episode of The Floor is Lava. UFC fights. Yeah. Haven't watched Fight Club in years. You said that's a good movie. I know it's one of those things where people are like, "Oh, you're just disagreeing to because it's popular for everybody else." I sat through Fight Club and I watched the entire thing, and I thought to myself, "Why do people think this movie is so good?" Like, I get part of it is like maybe it appeals to our primal nature, but I also think, like, to me, I was taken out of the movie way too early to buy into a lot of the premise. Why do I keep doing that? Why? Why? I'll tell you why. Okay, now I'm invulnerable, and there we go. Hockey fights are awesome too? Yeah, they are. Yeah, that's the thing, you don't talk about it, but that's the thing. And you don't talk about the movie. Yeah. So, and I'll tell you this, I only saw it once. I saw it on DVD, probably not too long after it came out. And like I said, this wasn't my thing then. But I was also lent another movie with it. Another Edward Norton movie, actually. American History X. And that movie is a great movie. And by comparison, leagues better than Fight Club. I'm glad I watched... I saw him coming. I wasn't paying attention. So, maybe that's my perspective, is that I watched those two back-to-back, and American History X was so good, and I was just not into Fight Club. But also, I'm a very, like... As we've determined, I'm a very laid-back, chill kind of person. Not one to get all worked up over certain things. So maybe it's my non-confrontational nature. But oddly enough, no one's ever tried to fight me over not liking Fight Club. At least physically. People can argue all day long about it. Where are you at? There it is. Lucky 13. A fun movie to try to interpret. Maybe that's it. Maybe it's... And I took that as, maybe you have to be on drugs to like it? No. I know that's not what you said, but that's what I was thinking. PS4 controllers are $13 in Walmart. Those can't be wireless. Oh, OXO says, I got you there. American History X is better. Okay, good. See, when I sent it to the person who loaned me both of those movies... Oh, hang on. I missed Beaster's comment there. In high school, my friend had us over for American History X. I was like, why are we gonna watch that? And rented an R-rated comedy for us to watch instead. Yeah, that's why I said there's some things that are gonna stick with you in that movie, and you were exactly thinking of the same thing that stick with me. The curb scene. That's all I'm gonna say, because if you don't know what's coming too, that's part of the thing. Part of the shock of watching it. It's very well done. The whole movie. And I don't know if it lives up to modern standards. I remember liking it very much when I first saw it. Of course, I remember the part of the premise for the person who loaned it to me was like, you're going to be an American history teacher, and you haven't seen American History X, and I was like, why is it about history? And it sure as heck is about American history, just not the type of history you learn about in school. Yeah, Screamer says no comment. Yeah, it's definitely not a... Okay, I think... Is this the controller that has the bad shoulder button? Because this is messing with me earlier, too. Went from being the biggest movie fan to paying zero attention. Yeah. Can I not? What? Wait a minute, that's not right. I'm not supposed to lose. Wait, I get another shot. Now that's a good movie as well, but for different reasons. Pretty much almost any Mel Brooks comedy movie will get me. Dang it! Sometimes they blend so well into the background, I didn't see him there. I was like, where's the coin? Now I'm determined. Like, I was not wanting to, like, grind through this level, but now, I'm like, oh, this game's making a fool out of me. We'll watch that new Spinal Tap sequel? What? I'm sure that's one that some people... I mean, if you realize that I'm... Dang it! What is with this level? Alright. My gamer status is on the line here. I will not be defeated by Donkey Kong Country 3, of all of them. Yeah, Damon's got it right. Thank you, Damon. I haven't said fudge yet, but we're getting close. So far, it's been all my own fault. Boom, boom. Take your time. There we go. Man, that took too much. That took way too much time. I was gonna write to Fudsicle if I didn't get it that time. Yeah, there's something about this shoulder button that's just not quite right. I mean, the controller is close to 30 years old. I'll have to give it a little bit of slack, but I mean, come on, Nintendo. You could make a controller that lasts 30 years. I keep bringing this up to people who are like, I'm physically collecting games for the Switch. It worked there. Do you expect your Switch to still be functional in 30 years? Much less the controller? I mean, talk about stick drift now. I meant to use the cough button, and instead I just covered my cough. Anyway. I predict that if there is a retro market of the future here, that the game collector's market in 30 years is going to be mostly revolved around how can we make a consoleized version of the Switch. And add to that, not only are you going to have that, but you're also going to have Nintendo out there trying to stop people from doing it. You think they don't like emulation? Wait till they see what happens when you open up their hardware and use it as they don't intend. 30 years after the fact. Right. I'm pretty sure this is easier than I make it most of the time. I'm just going to come back. Perfect. If I have anxiety, which I do, and like horror movies, which I do. Oh yes, It Follows. One of the best movies you've ever seen. It's insane. But if you don't know anything about the movie beforehand, it doesn't work. If you know... Oh yes, true. So, I won't say anything about it, but I will say I did enjoy It Follows. Part of it was, I saw it with a group of friends, and we couldn't help but make fun of part of it. I'm not going to say what we made fun of on it, but let's just say some of the movie leaves it open to ridicule a little bit. But yeah, no, I agree. It Follows came out of nowhere for me. For one thing, it's such a good premise for a movie. So yeah, that's... Nope, he's gonna eat one of those and get sick. He gets upset when he eats the spiky, squidgy thingies. But he's happy when he eats the other fish. Nope, nope, nope. Well, he's gonna eat it anyway. Day 1, Switch 2. I didn't even get the original Switch on day 1. What are you talking about? Turning the original Switch into a consoleized version? I mean, I'm kind of surprised that hasn't happened to the DS yet. As much as that's been kind of abandoned and people still like to play it. I guess emulation's kind of taken over that scene, so if Nintendo keeps going after emulation, that's probably the next thing that's going to happen, right? I guess people are going to start modding the original hardware. Or, like Analog, recreating it. This is a theme I always felt belonged in the, in Donkey Kong Country 2. No, don't eat that. It's really hard to keep him from eating the things he shouldn't. That's not what I wanted you to do either. That's right. You'll be happy in just a minute. Okay. Why? See, he just takes his sweet old time to eat. Fudge. Yeah, no reason to go up there. That's what I thought. Almost stopped watching after the car scene. The car scene after the theater. So glad you didn't. Oh yeah, was that because of boredom or was that because of like anxiety level? I can't tell you what my favorite scene is. I'm sure you're thinking of it too. That's all I'm gonna say because the one that came out of nowhere for me was the most genuinely terrifying thing. I still wake up sometimes at night and think about that scene. Like, it's such like something with someone, well, as you said, with anxiety would think of. Like, there's no possible way this is gonna happen. But now that you've seen it happen visually, you have a visual to go with it. Yeah, the movie theater scene was neat. I also like when she's just sitting in class. So, and I don't even know if that's the point where she's aware of what's going on yet. Yeah, It Follows is one of the few horror movies that are modern that I would recommend. The indie horror scene seems to be getting it right more than anything else. What did in the car I thought was going to be just exploitive? Yeah. The car scene is right before she finds out what's happening. Okay, yeah, that's right. I haven't seen it since the theater, to be honest. I don't know if I'll ever watch it again. It's not that kind of movie where like, oh, it's so good, I need to rewatch it like this time every year. It's not one of those kind of movies for me. Yeah, you can't watch it because it won't work, but I will watch like the scene I'm thinking of from it. I would watch that scene again, just to... Something just happened. And if I'm right, one of these things... I forgot what it is. There's a couple things where if you go around it... Yeah. Anyway, maybe it's the first waterfall, but I gotta save at some point. Really? They're gonna make a sequel? That movie came out like almost 10 years ago. I'm wondering how well they can do a sequel, because like I said, it's the premise of not knowing what's gonna happen is half the reason why that movie's good. But I also like too, like did they film part of that movie in like Flint, Michigan? That's part of the things like we're making fun of, like, they literally just filmed it because like half that town is like abandoned. And so there's a lot of like old abandoned houses that can be kind of creepy. You saw it like 6 months ago, so it's all fresh in your mind? Yeah. That's... So, and like I said, I'm telling you about it from a few years ago. So, almost, because I saw it in theaters when it was out. And that's because my friend, one of my friends is a huge, like, movie buff, so he is, like... Whoops, wrong way. Huge horror movie buff, so that's like his jam. That's one of the reasons, that's the only reason why I saw it in the theaters. Otherwise, I'd be like, It Follows, why would I ever watch that? Because if you just hear the name... I guess that's part of it. The name is not really an exciting name for a horror movie. Oh, I almost died. If I'm right, I think they completely retooled one of the boss battles in this game. In the GBA version. And I remember I liked the GBA version. What I didn't like was the control scheme, because there's only 2 regular buttons. See, patience is really needed in this. And if my shoulder button was working correctly, I needed it. Oh, I got him. Barbarian is a good movie? Okay. Alright, so I got my jet skis. I'm gonna save again. Oh, I got all the DK coins in this one. Because I got the gold banner. I didn't even realize that. There is one, behind one of those waterfalls is a banana bird thing, I thought. Read an article where Tarantino said you need to watch It Follows without knowing anything because it's the best exposition scene in movie history. Oh yeah, absolutely. Like, again, and then they explain the plot of it like halfway through, but if you have no idea what's going to happen, and he gives you time to think about it, that's probably the worst thing for it. That's when you saw Tarantino say that, you took notice? I mean, he's kind of a cinephile himself. I say kind of. So when you say that he says a movie is good, that should be one to take notice, right? And now we're on jet skis. One thing I would like to see is a movie. What is a video game based on a movie that's like really good? Like, maybe even something that surpasses a movie. I think we've already seen something like that with I mean, it's got to be a more modern game. Didn't need that, but oh well. What did I lose? Not much. Ah. Own an enormous DVD collection, so you have hundreds of movies that influenced. Bought video games instead of, if you would have bought video games instead of DVDs, then you would be wealthy now. Yeah. Yeah, that one is a. I also have a decent DVD collection, but I'm a thrifter, so a lot of my DVDs came because I've been getting them at like Goodwill for like less than $1. $1 or less is what I'll say. But there's also Blu-rays and stuff too. So yeah, I've collected a lot of those. But yeah, you're right. They're not worth much, especially because people are now like, oh, 4K and whatnot. I have the feeling that it might take some time. Here we go. Nope. There is a. Let me put it down. There's a trick to this where you have to do like that. There you go. Ah. See how close that is? Yep. Oh. The problem is he stops right after that. How many times have I tried this and failed? Oh, that's gonna do it. Yeah. Didn't look like it was going to. Like, it's a very specific way to get that. I have the feeling as streaming services go up in price, physical media is going to become collectible again at some point. And people may prefer, like, Blu-rays, but DVDs are going to be, I think, just as collectible at some point. Because their quality doesn't degrade. Right now, like, I'm kind of surprised that VHSs are kind of a collectible thing. But I guess it's kind of seen like records, I guess. It's a neat kind of technology that everyone used to use and no longer does. But records I've always considered a neat technology. Like, right now, doesn't, like, the disc drive and the PS5 and the Xbox Series X still support DVDs? The Mist was really good. I remember seeing that, yep. It's really unfair. Just bought Heavy Metal 4K Blu-ray because it was $20. I will say this, like, 4K Blu-ray, I would love to collect those more, but I've never seen like a decent, when I say decent deal, I mean sub 20 bucks, since they first came out. And, you know, like Best Buy doesn't even carry them anymore. Like, it's hard to get those. At a decent price. I'll do regular Blu-ray because it looks the same to me. I think 4K Blu-rays may become like a rare collectible. It's been 8 years since those came out. Just to give you an idea of how much 4K Blu-ray didn't catch on the way they thought they would. And now I have to... We'll probably have to look at the movies that have never been released on physical media, that are only available through some of these streaming platforms. I wonder if the bootleg market's going to start taking off again because of that. People want physical copies and things. I was shocked when I saw The Mandalorian Season 1 and 2 on Blu-ray. Whoops. It's because that's something, like, I'll buy those. Now I have no problem watching those and buying those because I'm like, if those come out. But right now it's only the first and second season. They don't have the, they don't have the third season yet. And only one season of Andor. Obi-Wan. So far, the complete series. I keep seeing a rumor of Season 2 coming out. Apparently that's all up to Ewan McGregor if he wants to do it, but the new Disney Plus Star Wars, I'm not even calling it Disney Star Wars, I'm just calling it Disney Plus Star Wars. Seeing those get a physical release is nice. But I think that's something that will... When somebody says that physical media is going to die out, I think right now, it's kind of like, you know, they're still making records because they're collectible. So I think as long as they see there's a market for physical collecting... why didn't I hit that? Just bounce off of it and hit him? Strange physics. DVDs would like be obscure stuff you can't find easily back then. Yep. Yep. HD DVD players for Xbox. I would still like to get one at some point. The problem is, I waited too long, and now the powers that be have decided that they are collectible, and they want to charge like a small fortune for them, like $200 for an HD DVD player. I'm sure they're cheaper than that in some cases. Just one of the examples I saw in a local retro game store was that they wanted to charge... I messed it up. I see that sign and it gives me the anxiety. I'm like, oh, I gotta press a button. I press it way too early. And I have a modest, a very... I wouldn't even say modest. It's a very small HD DVD collection. I just don't have a way of playing it at the moment. And I would love... for my way to play it be the HD DVD player for Xbox 360. As long as it still works. Slow down there for no reason. And what do you got for me here? The G? Nope. I actually love Blu-ray. For older movies especially, you're fine with the DVD counterpart. Yeah, and that's the thing. So for my friend, like, I've bought... The reason why I buy DVDs right now is because they are $1 or less per movie. Blu-rays can be like $3 to $5 per movie. Some of them are really expensive for some reason. I don't know why. When I mean like 20 bucks used, kind of expensive. But as long as I can keep doing, like, that kind of stuff. Oh, and DVDs of TV shows. That's the big one I like, because those are never going to have commercials. So if I want to catch up on a series and I'm like, oh, I've never seen that show, I've always heard it's good, I'm going to try that. This is the level I was dreading. We'll see how well I do. Because I have a habit of missing a barrel and then having to go, like, start over at the beginning of the level. This level was why game save states were invented, is what I would tell people. If I'm right, this is the only one of these kind of levels where you have to climb up barrels falling down. There may be one of the special levels in the Lost World that has them. But yeah, this is an area right here. There's something over there. There we go. Yep, VHS is collectible because the old school art and renting. Yep. The one of my former students who I know collects VHS tapes, collects them to watch them. He actually said Batman Begins, which is apparently a rare one because it was like one of the last. See that. Which is apparently one of the rare ones because it was one of the last VHS releases here in the US. He says it looks better on VHS than it does on DVD and Blu-ray. Now, I don't think he's including HDR Blu-ray, because I would agree the original, and I fall right through the platform because I was probably a frame too early. See, like that? Yeah. And I do agree that old school CRTs, which is what he's watching it on, can do HDR better than a non-HDR HD TV. I know I used a lot of H's in there. Hopefully you guys were able to follow that thought process. Yep, I shouldn't have risked it. I should have just... I don't care if I have the bird. I really don't. Has to be a movie that you really like to buy it. Right, and that's the other thing too. So I mean, with 4K, that's what I've been... That's been my philosophy. Unless it's a movie I really like, I'm not going to buy the 4K one. The ones... Excuse me, the ones I really like are like the ones that have 4K Blu-ray and DVD and digital code. But not all of them have that. There's a couple of the 4K movies that I bought that they only have the 4K Blu-ray. Not even a... I don't want to say not even a digital code. Maybe a digital code? Slow down there really messed with me. See how much easier that makes it when you don't have to worry about this dang barrel? Don't care. Oh, that was too early. But I still saved it. Ooh. Good. That's I don't care about any of the bonus stuff. I'm just getting out of that level. They just ended up filming for the Long Walk movie. It's from a crazy old Stephen King. I was going to say, there's a movie called The Walk that's about the guy who did the tightrope walk between the Twin Towers. That's one of the few movies where I'm like, you have to see that in 3D. That makes it almost an entirely different movie. If you suffer from a fear of heights, you might not want to watch it in 3D. 2D makes an entirely different movie. And that's another thing too. So one of my things is, I also was a heavy collector of 3D Blu-rays. And the reason why I was able to, expand my collection as much as I have is because the family videos that were being cut down. One of them had a very extensive 3D Blu-ray collection that they were getting rid of, and oh, come on, that was like a frame difference. Yeah, now I can talk again. So I was able to get a lot of 3D movies for, I think it was 75 cents each. A lot of them with their original box art, which are in pristine shape. I doubt very many people actually rented 3D Blu-rays back in the day. Just judging by the conditions of the discs. Yeah. And the boxes. They're in pretty good shape. It's like Marvel movies in 3D. Got most, if not all, of those up until 2019, which is when those... No! I didn't realize. See, that's the thing. I just gotta stop talking. Can't believe that. So another idea I've thought off and on about. Can't guarantee what happened at all, if any time. But I've also thought about trying to do like a different channel for like movies and things like that. In fact, I do have a channel name reserved for if I were to do that. See, it's because I'm talking. I need to take my own advice and just shut up for a second. Ooh. Yeah. Gotcha. But I guess my curiosity is, would you guys be interested in a channel like that for me? Film history would probably be the big goal of it. But the other thing, too, is if you guys think that copyright's not fair with video games, you should see what they do with movies and movie reviews, where supposedly you are protected against claims of that sort, because then it's almost like censoring things that you don't want to see. Trying to control your narrative about what you want people saying about your movies or not. Alright, let's see here. Has to be a movie that you were like before you buy it. We saw that. Nostalgic Soul says, I love Star Wars. Bit burnt out from the last couple of years, just too much of it at once. Same with all the Marvel movies. Yeah, the Marvel movies got me a bit burnt out, but I think part of that was it seemed like they had a directionlessness to them ever since the end of Endgame. So now it looks like maybe they're going to start refocusing. I mean, I'll say this for it. I've still seen all the Marvel movies. Every single one of them that came out. Oh, wait, no. I think there's one I didn't see. At least not yet. I'll have to think about it. The last one I saw, was that Spider-Man? Anyway. Agree, you can really have too much of a good thing, yep, and then it ceases being special when you kind of flood it. And a lot of people call that franchise fatigue. But that's the thing. When you say too much at once, it started in 1999. And then we got a ton of Star Wars video games with it. We got 2 Clone Wars TV shows, a Clone Wars movie, and then we got Rebels, and then we got the new trilogy, and in the midst of that, 2 standalone movies, and then The Mandalorian. So that's what I'm saying. I'm like, when people are like, oh, it started with Disney, I'm like, no, it was starting to get that way beforehand. But, I mean, I don't know. I've been enamored with it all because I kept expecting it just to die out after George Lucas. Like, I thought George Lucas would just let the franchise die rather than sell it off or give it to anybody else. I've heard he has some buyer remorse with it now. But, or I mean now, almost instantly, it seemed like. Was buying vinyl once from a seller, said he had a sealed Laserdisc of Child's Play 3 for $3.99, so you bought that? I was into Laserdisc collecting for a little while until I learned about a thing called disc rot that is apparently plaguing almost everybody. I don't want to say almost everybody. I mean, it's basically everything I have to deal with. And if the format is not functional, I don't feel like collecting it. So once I learned how big the disc rot like problem is for that for collecting for Laserdisc, I sold off my collection. I only had like 10 movies and a Laserdisc player, and it was loud and bulky. It's definitely not an ideal way to watch movies today, but back in the day, for me, it was the only way to watch the unaltered Star Wars trilogy in widescreen and in a decent thing. I got the reason why I was able to part ways with it is that they finally released the on DVD the Laserdisc version. So that's why I no longer needed the Laserdisc player after that point. OXO says, "Oh, would it be like a channel that reviews retro movies and the like? You'd sub it?" I would say, I don't know if I would even consider it like, it would definitely do older movies as well, because there's more of them than the modern movies. But I'm sure it would also include some modern movies, especially if I thought it was a movie like an underrated movie I thought it was worth seeing. I guess I'll ask this now then. What movies have you guys seen lately that you would recommend that I go see? I know it seems like everybody and their mom went and saw Wicked. One of my friends took his kids to see Moana 2. But that's another thing too, is I still watch like modern Disney movies. Like, I don't think there's a Disney movie I haven't seen that's come out in the last like 35 years. So Beaster says, in terms of what you like for movie channels, you think it's interesting to focus on what experience you've had as a kid or how your movie experience grew. I gotta tell you, I watched a ton of movies. And partially, and I think that was true for a lot of gamers back in the day, because you could watch movies on TV for free, and you could record them. If you had something like Cinemax and HBO back in the day, you could watch them unaltered. But like cable TV movies, that's a thing. Instantly. Oh well. So like, yeah, I watched a lot of movies back in the day because of that. Because we couldn't afford a ton of games. I only had like 5 to 7 games to play, and the rest of it, unless I wanted to keep playing those 5 to 7 games, sometimes I'd be able to rent them, sometimes I swap them with my friends. The rest of my time was filled with TV shows, and I had blank tapes I would record the TV shows on, and movies as well. And if I liked it, I would try to see when the movie was on, and I'd record it and cut out the commercials while I was watching it. That could be a whole thing. I still have a couple of tapes. I'm actually staring over at a corner that has some of my blank VHS tapes from back in the day. I have like a Star Trek Voyager one. Simpsons was another one I used to watch all the time. I have some ones where I had like Ernest movies. I'd watched on like TBS when they would like marathon those James Bond movies. And I might need to... There we go. Okay. Definitely need to concentrate here. Come on, throw! I was hammering the button. Could you guys hear that? Unless I was pressing the wrong button, which I don't think I was. Another reason why save states were invented. This boss right here. Come on, we can get it. How did that not hit him? There we go. Oh, come on. Come on, he's dead. He's dead. He's dead. Perfect. Oh! Beetlejuice was a very competent sequel. I heard some people being kind of hypercritical of it when it first came out, and those kind of died down a little bit. So I don't know if the thing has changed on it. Oh, sorry, Jerome. I've been seeing your comments here for a second. Seen VHS tapes for 30, 40, 50 bucks. Yeah. Wasn't interested, but you were shocked. That would definitely be shocking to me, too. Back in the day, some of those movies were 100 bucks. Hence the Blockbuster were born. Yeah. Yep. Oh, especially on VHS. Thing you like is creators talk about things they recorded themselves on VHS like that. Yep. Very individualistic with the stories. Nice. But I would also do things like, I'd like to do like history and retrospectives of certain movies, like, and ones I guess that would be important to me, like the original Indiana Jones trilogy on VHS. That was like, I could tell you stories about that because it's almost like game collecting, because I had recorded some off of TV, but I knew they were edited, so I would save up money, wait till I got to Walmart or something, and then collect them there too. So that way I'd update my collection a bit. But anyway, lots of stories involving that kind of stuff I could throw in there as I do those kind of retrospectives. Last new movie you saw, which was an old movie, you watched at the cinema? The Search for Spock. Yep. So I was thinking back there, like I was specifically thinking, like I said, Indiana Jones trilogy, but one of the things, like one of the first videotape collections that I completed for the time was Star Trek. In fact, I still have, okay, I have the DVDs over there now, but I had the Star Trek First Six that had the picture of the Enterprise on it, if you lined up the tapes. But I bought them out of order and one at a time because that's all I could afford at a time. But I just remember I was so proud when I completed that collection that I kept them. I haven't gotten rid of them, no matter how many times I wanted to sell them, because I'm like, this is very personal to me. Like, I have to keep that. I have my original Star Wars trilogy VHS collection and the special editions that I first got when they first came out on VHS. Yeah, because otherwise it's like NES. We could talk about the same good old things over and over again, right? Had Ernest Scared Stupid recorded on VHS? Yep. Jim Varney was like a god to you as a kid in the 90s. Oh, he was like... I was trying to think of what Ernest is like for modern kids. Like, that's the thing. Like, what can we compare Ernest to now that's like everywhere for kids? And it's almost incomparable because there's so much out there for kids to watch, including Ernest. Ernest was like the only one that was like that. I guess you could say he was like the Tyler Perry for kids of the 80s and 90s or something like that. It was just, it's very strange to say, but that's not really what I mean. He was just like, everyone knew Ernest. Ernest Saves Christmas, Ernest Scared Stupid, Ernest Goes to Jail, which was my personal favorite for a long time. In that movie, he is like a god. Probably going to Rocky Horror this Friday, yep. Remember when all the Friday the 13th all were on, yep, final showing unedited for a movie channel, yep. Had to get up in the middle of the night. My brothers and I used to do that. They would actually wake me up and be like, hey, Tyler, you want to go see a movie? And I'm like, sure. And they're like, they thought like Friday the 13th would scare me so much. Of course, I was like 6 years old at the time. I think most of the reason why it didn't scare me is because I didn't really get what was going on. But there's another one too. I also have the same thing. The first video game... I'm sorry, not video game. The first VHS tape collection I bought, like all at once, was... Nightmare on Elm Street. So anyway. And beg no one else to change the channel. Yep. I remember those days. The only one in the family that knew how to set and record the VCR. So, there was a VCR that we had that had, you had to program in the channels into one of the 10 buttons on the front of the VCR. Anybody else have one of those VCRs? And it could pick up more channels than that, but you couldn't get to them unless you programmed them in to one of the programmable buttons on the front of the VCR. So it was very strange like that. But I was the only one who knew how to change those channels after a while. Like, my dad did it for a bit. Oh, I messed up at the very end because I was trying to think of that VCR. It was it was like a VCR that had a... Do I want to do it again? Why not? We got time, right? And you remember the box set of the Star Trek ones? Yep. Remember those days? You were the only one who could do that. We saw that, Jim. I mean, you remember that box set? Ernest and Ray Stevens, VHS Kings. First DVD collection you bought was the Nightmare on Elm Street box set. You know, it's kind of funny. The first box set I bought was also that one on DVD. Because I had the VHS set for a while, but when I first got my DVD player, I had to unhook my VCR to be able to use it. And I had more stuff on VHS at the time than I did DVD, so I thought, okay, I gotta slowly start replacing my VHS collections. And I don't remember Star Trek actually doing a box set. If anything, I couldn't afford all of them at once, so... Because I remember I bought the widescreen collector's editions for those, but Star Trek Nemesis I had in full screen for some reason. Then I had to go back and forth for a long time. Watch the VH. If I had it on VHS, I'd have to plug in the VCR. If I had it on DVD, I'd have to swap it out for that. That was close. Don't know what's down there, but I don't think I'm going to grab it. What's over here? Nothing? First VHS was right after that. The Omen set. Nice. VCR Plus. I think you had the first RCA one. VCR Plus didn't exist until the 80s. DVD Elm Street set you wanted for 3D Freddy's. Yeah, I remember that one came with 3D glasses, didn't it? The Freddy's Dead. That labyrinth maze. Oh yeah, I forgot. You gotta get in between these two helicopter guys. These helicopter guys are probably the most obscure creation of the Donkey Kong Country franchise. Like, there's no purpose to them, logically. Like, bees, fine. Bees in a cavern, whatever. These helicopter guys don't exist. Anywhere else. Except for in this game. Ah! One wrong click of a button. And yes, if you're wondering, you can't... This isn't like Squawks. You can't fire eggs. So if you're wondering why I wasn't firing any eggs, it wasn't because I wanted to make the level harder. It's because they wanted to make the level harder. I just needed to do that differently. Let's try this again. And it despawned. Why not? Did I hit the halfway point already? You had no idea that Freddy's Dead was in 3D till the day after it was For sale on the video rental store. Well, that was fun. Now you're going to see why a lot of people didn't like this game. Surprisingly, getting that in one shot is, I guess, 2 shots. Again, in some cases, I'm making this easier than it looks. Wait, did I say that right? I'm making it look easier than it is. There we go. Just because of years of being able to do it. Years of playing. And I can't remember if I need to do this or not. Well, that's right. And again. Just gotta wait. Nope, that wasn't it. This guy's gonna take a little bit. Bye-bye, Birdo. Oh my gosh. And you can ride him up to the top to get something up there. I can't remember what it is. Maybe it's the final collectible of the level, bonus barrel, who knows. Ranked Movies was such a great experience because you actually got to choose what you wanted. So just waiting until it was on TV. Or video on demand. I don't even know anyone in the 90s that had video on demand. Like, getting things like WrestleMania or something like that, you'd have to go to somebody who had that ability. But you didn't always get to watch what you wanted, because sometimes the movie was out, right? Could you imagine if there was like a Netflix queue that you had to wait for? I know you used to when you had it in the mail. When we did get something like the ability for pay-per-view, I did. I rented WrestleMania 20, I think was the first one I did. Because it was like so neat to me that we actually had the ability to do it. I actually paid for the amount of money to be able to watch it. What just happened? Interesting. Tried to see Freddy's Dead on the big screen when it came out. You were 15, thought you could pass for 18, but nope. They asked for ID back then. They didn't even ask me for ID when I was, well, I guess I looked older than I was, though. Yeah. And watch when you wanted to, yep. Surprising that movies for gamers isn't a thing on YouTube. Not movies based on games, but like, oh, Lawnmower Man and things. Okay, and War Games. See, and that could be a good crossover. I thought about that for War Games, for sure. I'm kind of surprised how much War Games has kind of gone out of the consciousness. Unless you grew up during that time period, not a lot of people have seen it. And it's gotten to the point now where I used to describe, I said, oh, who's in it? I'd be like, oh, Ferris Bueller. And then, no joke, somebody finally said, who's that? I'm like, ah. Unless, I guess he needs to be in a Marvel movie so that kids these days will know who he is. We'll get there. Wasn't a huge fan of War Games. Oh, that was a big movie in my house. We never owned it until I bought it on DVD. But oh my gosh, it was quoted all the time, I think by my dad. Can't believe I messed that one up so quickly. Can I get to it again? Nope. Come on. Greetings, Professor Falcon. Shall we play a game? Let's play Global Thermonuclear War. How about a nice game of chess? No. Global Thermonuclear War. Fine. Yep. Didn't get pay-per-view till the late 90s, yeah. Ours was when we switched over to satellite, was when we first got pay-per-view access. ECW pay-per-view was the first you ever bought. I think the first time I actually saw Matthew Broderick was that election movie. Oh my gosh. I vaguely have a memory of that. Got Ferris later on VHS, yep. Did like Hackers. That movie has aged amazingly. Have we talked about that before, or was that something I talked about with one of my summer workers? Because they brought up Hackers too, and I said, oh my gosh. For some reason, they made me think of The Net. Have you guys seen that? With Sandra Bullock? That's more of a movie for like techie kind of people, though. It's back when the internet was like, oh, what's all the rage? The intranet? Well, we should make a movie that focuses on that. And so it's kind of funny because they it's writers of the 90s who have no idea what the internet is trying to write a movie. Well, that's like the main plot point. And I say, unless I have to jump over there, I'm not going to. Okay. Well, now I have to memorize this without. And that's it. That's gonna kill me. Stand By Me was your first pay-per-view? Yep. I did see Mr. McMahon. Yep, Sandra Bullock. That movie is amazing. I saw it for the first time in ages, like, over the spring. And I'm like, man. Knowing what I know now with my technology, I'm like, man, that movie does not live up to my memory of it being, like, really good. It's a good movie, but I'm like, because I know what it is. Yeah, I did see the Mr. McMahon one. Because my friend is a huge wrestling fan, so that's why I ended up watching it. And, of course, it's kind of nostalgic to my childhood, because wrestling, as big as it is now, was more pop culture back in the day than I think it is now with kids, especially. I mean, apparently this is the biggest, like, wrestling has ever been. But I think that's, like, a worldwide kind of thing. Darn it. More than it is specifically a U.S. thing. Yeah, I'm not going this time. I'm not going for it. See, now I saw him come down. Should be on the other side of the rope. The old WWF was a trip, yep. I learned a lot in that. You said you knew a lot that was in the Mr. McMahon documentary. I mean, there was a lot I knew in there. There was a lot I didn't know. Like, I knew that, like, the steroids thing was big enough for me to have been aware of that as a kid. You're like, what kind of influence are we letting these people have over our kids who are taking steroids to become like these big behemoths of people? I would love to be able to take another hit right now, because there's a point. Nope. Okay, good. So there's a point where I need to... Oh, that's where the Donkey Kong coin was. Oh well. Agree, yep. Oh, Blade Runner, yep. That was, well, Blade Runner was a huge influence to a lot of things in culture that, I mean, you might not be aware of. Like, the whole cyberpunk genre owes its existence almost to, and I'm not talking like steampunk, like cyberpunk aesthetic kind of thing, owes its existence to what Blade Runner's effect was. What's that game on Sega CD that's super expensive? That's basically like Blade Runner. Oh, I can't think of what it is. I reviewed it. And it was the first time I had played it. I'm like, this game is actually not too bad. Yep, the old Coliseum video, WF tapes. My friend rented those over and over again. He would rent those, and I had never seen like the old school WrestleManias because we didn't have pay-per-view. So he'd rent those, and he had a few of them like he had copied to VHS tape or recorded when they were brand new. That was kind of neat. So yeah. So that's how I saw those. There's got to be a thing about VHS tape intros that I'm sure are very nostalgic. Like, you tell me if you saw... You guys remember the... it was like Mickey's hand and the Walt Disney would get drawn out? Anybody think of the music off of that at the beginning of the old Disney VHS tapes? Okay, you guys might not be able to see this, but I sure can. And maybe it's because I had the brightness turned up on the monitor. So if you're wondering like how I'm able to get through some of these, follow the bananas. Where are the bananas leading me? Oh yeah, and when they're completely shut, you cannot hurt them, but they can hurt you. Good. Ah, bad. Yep. I will say, my folks would go in and out with cable. What? Those things hurt you? Oh, I might as well just start over then. Yeah, a lot of people didn't have it. Like, when we did have cable, we never had a set-top box to be able to order pay-per-view. Like, you had to have a separate box for it in order to get access to it. But I will say, for like 10 years, my parents had Cinemax because they had like a free trial to it. That never got deactivated. Until we canceled our cable the first time. And then there was also, like, the blocks on other channels was also wearing off. Like, there was, like... The adapter got so old that it was starting to let through some of the other channels, too. Dang it. Take your time. I got lucky the first time I did that. I was not expecting that to work a second time. Oh, that is a bonus room. But see, those are all conversations that I would have if I started another channel. What I really need to do is get my time back. Because I enjoy live streaming, I enjoy video production. I think that if I start, like, scaling back what I do for, like, work, and obviously there's family responsibilities I kicked up this year because of my mom's stuff, so I think that could be something I do more often, but who knows if it'll be, like, popular by the time I get around to it. I don't know, will there be very many people, like 80-year-olds on YouTube that are like, I remember back in the day. Anybody remember the ration stamps we used to get in World War II? I'm saying that because that's going to be me. If I live long enough. Ooh, it's getting really dark. I remember we had to save our food with paper because we couldn't get plastic wrap or aluminum foil. I was saying plastic wrap in World War II, I don't think it was a thing. Plastic was a pretty well new thing back then. Isn't that one of the plot points of I almost said It's Always Sunny. That's one of the plot points in It's a Wonderful Life. Was that he had the chance to go on the ground floor of plastics and invest with him, but he decided not to. Yep. See, I was supposed to know that going in there, right? Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't like that one bit. All the bananas. This is not working out. Are they going to get me again? Yep. Oh! Okay, that was a glitch, but at least it was a glitch in my favor. There we go. There's a bonus barrel up there. Can I get to it? Nope. Oh, heck yeah. Alright. Mighty difficult to get through there. Used to have this thing of metal about as big as a playing card that would jam it into the down unscramble everything. Yeah, it's pretty much a cable descrambler. I mean, the only way they'd find out that you were using that is if they stopped by to check your service, right? Man, that and phone freaking have kind of gone out of style, right? Oh my gosh, WCW Clash of Champions. WCW was huge too. Back in the day. It's kind of funny they're all owned by WWF now. Yep. Oh, that one ended up being Andre the Giant's last TV appearance. TBS, yep. Saturday Night's Main Event coming back to NBC mid-December. I heard they're moving a lot of their stuff to Netflix now. Because right now, I mean, they've been on Peacock for a while. It's in H green stamps, yep. Remember in the World of Warcraft we had a mount shortage? The Graduate with the plastic. They're going to start showing WWE events on Netflix. There we go. So yeah. You read a bit like they did with the Tyson fight the other week. I'm hoping they do a better job. Hang on a second. Heard my doorbell go off. Alright, hang on just a second, I'll be right back. Alrighty. Whew. Yep, had a package delivered that was not for me, and I had swap with a neighbor, so y'all don't figure out. Any of you guys do some online shopping? All of mine has been for like other people. You knew a couple tricks with the telephone service, yeah. Yes, actually, Beasters, that's the only thing I watched on it, was the ladies fight. And I thought it was pretty good as well. Yeah, paid by the round. Well, I mean, that's the other thing the other sucker doing for the last time. Yeah, well, the only thing is, it didn't cost me anything to watch it, so I guess that's why I wasn't too disappointed. I had no expectations going into it, though, other than it didn't go the way I thought it was going to, but I don't think anyone I don't think it went any way that people thought it was going to. Yeah. You did some online shopping? So all of the online shopping that I did was all Christmas shopping for somebody else, except for one thing, which is one of the reasons why, like I told you guys, I was stuck on video production because I was waiting on something, and that's because my storage server was starting to run out of space. I did change some things to where, like, I could, like, move things around and whatnot. I use, but I use my storage server for a lot of stuff, not just video production. It was starting to get to the point where I needed to get another drive for it, so that's the only thing I purchased for me was a new drive for my storage server. And now that that's in, it's going to take a couple days for all of my... Because I use a redundancy in my drives, and it's got to format the drive and then move all the data to where it's split between the drives evenly, so... Still be a little bit till my video production can kick back up on the 16-bit war, but that's the video I've been working on next. And that's gonna be a long one, and it's gonna take a while for me to produce it, just like the original 8-bit war did. But I was able to at least release it in parts last time. This time, based on my success with the longer videos, I'm just gonna release it all at once. So it could be, I mean, especially with the amount of time it's taken, it could be a little while till we see it. What do you mean a little while? It is going to be a while till we see it. But just to give you guys a bit of a preview, I'm very excited. The first 30 minutes of it are close to final. The next 20 minutes are what I'm working on right now. At least I assume it's going to be about 20 minutes. Can I jump off of this thing? Nope. Come on. There we go. But the big thing is I have to keep a lot of stored gameplay footage. I'm assuming that once I'm done with the 16-bit war, I can get rid of most of that. Well, there goes. Pretty sure I was going to lose them soon anyway. Ooh, what am I supposed to do here? There we go. Well, that's what I'm supposed to do. About a... Just a tip, I want to save some money on large drives. Bought a terabyte SSD for the VCS. Nice. Ever looked into the Phantom console? Love the material on that console. Would love if you've found things I never found. Interesting. No, I don't think I've heard of that console. Oh, the whole thing's gonna be that? Okay. I might not make it. Nope, I was wrong. Mike Tyson's Mysteries. I remember that. So yeah, it is like Scooby-Doo with Mike Tyson. They made some meme clips of it before the fight. I saw. Love the show because it was really short. Yep, it's like a Hanna-Barbera style show. Yep. I'll tell you, of all the things that we've talked about tonight, I did not expect the Mike Tyson Mysteries to be one that we talked about. Not disappointed. Just didn't think it'd be something that I'd bring up. Yep, can't do anything with those guys. Yep. Ah. Don't do anything for that yet. There was a special area I can get to, but whatever. Now, the reason why I bought the storage on... It was right before Black Friday. It's probably actually on Monday, right when the Amazon deals kicked in, is because there was a drive I was keeping an eye on that finally went on sale for my storage server. It's got to be a... Oh, I thought I could go down there. Apparently I can't. That said, am I going to play Mike Tyson's Punch-Out? The problem with streaming that is there's enough of a delay introduced to where there's no way I could beat the game. Not that I can anyway. But there's absolutely no way you can beat the game based on the delay. That's actually the problem with playing Mike Tyson's Punch-Out on any, like, LCD display without, like, the upscaler. Because it introduces a delay, and in some cases you have to be, like, so frame perfect on stuff. There's, like, almost no way you can beat the game on a modern display because of that extra image processing. Yes, even if you turn that low latency game mode on. What's over here? I feel like this isn't going to be worth it. And I was instantly proven correct. Tulsa King, yes, I did watch that. Gosh, I thought it was over the last break we had. Maybe over the end of summer I watched Tulsa King. I thought it was decent. It did seem... The only criticism I had of it was that it seemed a bit generic. Like, oh, New York mobster ends up in the wilderness of Oklahoma. Like, it was kind of a cheesy beginning, but it was a satisfying story, is what I'll say. And of course, if you like Sylvester Stallone, I don't think you'll be disappointed. It's almost classic Stallone in some cases. Almost died twice there for no reason. Remember, don't go there. Okay, I thought there was something I could do there. The second season just ended. So is that a Paramount Plus show? The reason why I asked is because that's the only streaming service it seems that I don't have anymore. So that is available physically, which is how I saw it. I was able to rent Tulsa King on DVD, yes, in this day and age, from the library. And that's how I saw it. So if I can avoid paying for Paramount Plus, I will. Interesting. Oh, that's where the next bonus barrel is. Oh, I'm not doing any spoilers. Sorry, I just said that you would like it because it's got classic Stallone. So, I guess I was giving away a plot point, but it's basically if you've read the description on Paramount, if that's what it's on. I haven't given anything more than that would give away, but yeah, I'm done talking about. I wouldn't give you any spoilers. Ah, I thought it just. Yeah. Anyway, if somebody want to type in the chat, let them know that I'm done talking about it. So this thing, I do not have Walmart Plus, thankfully. I don't want to pay for a subscription to Walmart or anything else. I don't even like paying for a subscription to like Costco or something like that. What? I don't want that. Oh, there we go. I was like, I want to go on the chairlift and save. Are you guys mentioning Mike Tyson's Punch-Out because they were saying the resolution on that game is higher than the match? Don't have a car, so it's perfect for you. Well, that's the thing. And I live in a very rural area, so I don't even think Walmart Plus would give me anything. Like, does that do like home delivery? I guess, Jetstreamer. That's a genuine interest question. Oh, we have another one. Another get some cheap views on stuff. Oh, you know what I just realized? One of my streams has the wrong date. No, but it's a solid point. You read it through Tombstone Works? Yeah, that's what I said. I would never. If the show's like 40 years old, then maybe I would give you a spoiler, but I mean, at that point, you should have seen it, right? If you had 40 years to watch a show. Oops. Oh, you... How did I get rid of that the first time? Oh, because I was invincible. I'm invincible. Home delivery, next day delivery, 25% off of Burger King? Yeah. None of that stuff. I don't even know where the nearest Burger King is to me. I thought they all went out of business based on... There it is. Yep. If for some reason, my timing has always hit it when it's going to kill me. No, I would not recommend Rocky Legends on PS2. Isn't that the one where, isn't that the one that's, like, heavily filled with glitches? That was a waste. This is gonna be the worst boss fight, because I'm gonna fuck it up pretty good. Well, that guy took a different path. He was a lot faster the second time. Yeah, Rocky Legends is awesome. I don't know if I would call that awesome. I think this might be the last thing I can stream tonight. Dang it. Alright. I just if I mess up on this part, I just gotta off myself so I can get a clean start. Goosefraba. Now, I just need to start counting it out, outside of my head. Now. Alright, now this part's even harder. Alright, launch him. He has no idea. Ah. This guy's faster. Nope. So that's what I said. I got him the first time so easily, it just shocked me. What? Yep. I don't know how to beat this guy on the first time. Maybe I should turn on the cheats. I'm getting close to it. Now that I know this is the last thing I'm going to be able to stream. Now. Now. I already got hurt once. Rocky Legends is awesome. You don't think... Oh, okay, you don't think I'm thinking about the right game? Okay. You said on PS2, right? I mean, there's like a thing about WWE 2K20 that, like, wrestlers keep falling through, like, the mat and all that stuff. Like, that was very heavily in the Rocky game that I'm thinking of for PS2. I mean, it could have been on Xbox. Okay. Now. Oh! I thought I was in a safe spot. I was so close to beating him, too. Now. Last thing you hear in this world will be this theme from Donkey Kong Country 3. A sense of dread. I know it too. I'm like, my timing's way off here. Oh, why is that thing still getting me? You can imagine this is frustrating now. Imagine every time I rented this game, I had to get back to this point because the game store would erase our saves. Game store, the video rental store. Yeah. Oh, it did work. But, just like originally, I get a little bit better at it each time. First one. And again. So close. And it's, yep. Dang it. Now I'm dead. Because I need both of my lives for the... That's not going to make it. What the heck was I thinking there? If the problem was I wasn't thinking. Yep, that's not going to work. Alright, there we go. Good. And instantly. It's not gonna make it. It is gonna make it. Okay, this is the best shape I've been in. Coming to this part. Okay. Come on. Come on. Oh, thank goodness. Whew. Getting flushed out. So we made it to the final area, but so that's as far as I'm going to get in this stream, I think. Let's check it out. Because there is a level in here I will turn on the cheats for, because I will never play that level legitimately again. And I believe it shows up right before the castle. But I beat the first two ones on stream. Actually, a pretty decent amount of time. Unless you guys, I don't know. This is usually pretty early for me to wrap things up. You guys want me to keep going? But just keep in mind, I'm pretty well done grinding for the night, so I will turn on cheats for the rest of this. What do you guys think? So he said, apparently reviews for that game are higher than Rocky Legends. Both games scored over 7 on average. Really? So let me look that up while we're waiting for you guys to tell me if you'd like me to see me keep going or not. Knowing that it's going to be with cheats. Rocky glitchy game PS2. Yeah, it's just called Rocky. That's what I'm thinking of. I can't remember if I rented that game back in the day and saw it was a huge mess, but it was not good. You said it has a 7 out of 10 review? Yeah, IGN gave it an 8 point... An 8 point what? I wouldn't have given it that. So yeah, Rocky Legends being really cool. I need to check it out. I might do that at some point. Right, let me switch here real quick. There we go. So if I'm right, I just saved. I should have saved again. I don't know why I didn't. We're going to turn this back on. Now, it keeps me from switching characters as well. I don't know why it does that. Configuration. There we go. No. All right. Let's see what this does. I'm kind of surprised I didn't have my game save saved on here from when I beat the game for the review. %, in 2 hours and 13 minutes. You can even fight as Polly. That is pretty neat. Oh, come on. You guys want to see me unlock the Lost World? Let me see if I can remember how to do it. It's like 1, 2. There we go. And there's the Lost World. See, that didn't take any cheats to do it, though. All you gotta do is just go around that counterclockwise. I thought 4 times, but apparently around the 4 stones twice. So then here's where you spend those B coins that I've been collecting. And if I have 39, that should unlock 2 of the levels. Yeah, I haven't been paying attention to the bears at all. There you go. So that'll unlock 2 of the levels. Get to those sometime. I should have saved. Again. We've had a lot of good conversation, though, tonight. So apparently I need to start 2 hours earlier than I normally do. That'll get you guys in here. Oh my. I can't, like, grab onto anything either. So maybe I can't. Oh. Oh wow, I'm soft locked. Okay. I wonder why it's doing that. I don't remember if I ever got this to work or not. And I can't start select it. Let's try that again. Oh, I have to turn off the thing. You know what? I could just call it quits and go to Wheel of Fortune. Since I was gonna stay to begin with. Alright, I'm gonna put this next to where it is on both streams, because I have to keep searching for it each time. Alright, there we go. That's a familiar theme. I'd be remiss if I didn't end with Wheel of Fortune anyway, right? Alright, no, that's fine.
How many players would you like? Would you like to play against the computer? Please
Nope.
enter your name. Please choose a character.
Let's do that one. Alright. May need to look into the price of the Xbox version. Oh, is it expensive? And remember, if you guys have any letters you want me to guess in the chat, please let me know. Or if you have any idea what the puzzle is. I know for some of you, you're going to get it well earlier than I would. We still got to worry about the bankrupt, though. Instantly. It's kind of funny as we over our Thanksgiving we did play Wheel of Fortune. We all played together for one round, and then we played against each other in the second round. My sister-in-law just whooped me and my brother.
Choose a letter.
Excuse me. No ends. Place. So nowhere is a place, right? Yep, Jerome says wheel time. Yeah, late too. I missed dinner, so I might have to eat something after this. I guess I'll say this. Anybody still have Thanksgiving leftovers that they're trying to finish off? Thankfully, because I'm not hosting, I don't have to worry about that. But I did have to turn down a bunch of, hey, take home a leftover plate or something like that. I had to turn that down because I'd still be eating on that if I brought any of that home.
Choose a letter.
I was trying to think of a way to phrase this, but I'll say, did you know that TV dinners were invented at first, or frozen dinners, as a way to sell Thanksgiving leftovers? That's something I had no idea of. That's back when you had to cook them in the oven, and they came in like the tin foil stuff that you had to peel back. That's always a piece of trivia that my family forgets every year, and I always share with them every year.
Choose a letter.
Hmm. Until like 1998, everything you needed to bake in the oven was horrible. Are you talking about like reheatable meals and things like that? Like I said, my parents tried several times to get us to eat like frozen dinners, and I never, ever
Choose a letter.
liked any of this. So for a while, I wouldn't microwave anything. Like even to this day, the microwave is the least used appliance in my house. I will use the air fryer more than I will use the microwave. The only thing I thought the microwave was actually good for using is for microwave popcorn. Now my taste for that's gone away, so.
Choose a letter.
You said everything in the oven. Oh, Lake of the Ozarks. Oh, Damon's already got it in the chat. But that's my preferred way to reheat something. Although I heard somebody say that, I forgot what it was. Apparently it's like a prevailing opinion that the air fryer is not named well. Like it has a horrible name. I'm like, I think it has a great name. But I guess it's for people who are eating healthier, I guess, who don't understand that it's not a real fryer. Oh my goodness, what in the world did I just do? Sorry. There we go. Yep, amazing tater tots. But I'm like, reheating leftovers, anything leftover, steak, reheated in the air fryer, amazing. And tater tots, like leftover French fries, I can never bring home from a restaurant because they wouldn't reheat well. Reheat those in the air fryer, oh my gosh. You can spritz them with a little bit of either cooking spray or oil, and it's just going to be really good. Yep, that was probably right before the pandemic. That was right before then was when I got my air fryer, and I've been using it off and on ever since. I use that, the Instant Pots, and the Crock Pots. Because it's great, quick and easy meals, except for the crock pot is slower, but then I have a hot meal waiting for me when I get home. Being single and crock pots is great. You have to learn how to use that. Air fryer should be called. It actually makes it good. Fries in the oven? Oh my gosh, so gross. Yeah, well, unless you have a convection oven, which is kind of like what the air fryer is. It's a small convection oven, which means it has an air that circulates the heat around. And it does... No R's. It does a great job at that. So yes, that's what I would normally agree with that. Have you guys made some homemade chips in the air fryer or the oven? It's kind of hard to do. I mean, I don't want to say it's not too hard to do. It's hard to do to get right. But there was like a Weight Watchers recipe for it where you thinly slice some potato slices, spritz them with cooking spray or again a little bit of oil, and bake them in the oven just right, and they'll turn into some good chips. It's kind of a healthier way of making chips. Is this butterscotch? No, it's not. Not enough words.
Choose a letter.
Not enough letters, I mean. But now that's all I have. Let's do another vowel.
Choose a letter.
Nope, no U.
Choose a letter.
No O's.
Choose
I'm just going to waste all my money.
Choose a letter.
Well, there's no more vowels. Because I bought them all. We used to deep fry in the 90s and 2000s. Yep. 90s for us. We got rid of it by the 2000s. The Fry Daddy.
Letter.
Oh, as soon as I saw it, I got it. As soon as I clicked the letter, I'm like, oh, I know what it is now. Used to deep fry in there, but it stinks so bad. Yes, it does. We had if you have like the vent that can lead outside from your kitchen, that'd be good. But it's the same thing with like frying burgers inside. That's something I don't like doing either. If I make burgers, I'm gonna have them on the grill. And that means cooking outside. I also cook outside for my wok because I have an electric stove and I have a gas burner on the grill. So I take my wok outside and I'll make like stir fry or something like that. I learned how to do a lot of that with like learning to cook healthy.
Choose a letter.
Which some people are like, you know how to cook healthy? I'm like, yeah. Otherwise, I'd probably be too. I wouldn't fit in frame on the camera if I didn't. Yeah, flour tortilla chips. Ooh. Yep, and we all gained weight. Absolutely. But did anyone ever sell that as this is going to be healthy? They probably said something about get the convenience of fast food at home for
Would you like to use your free spin?
for fresh. It was probably freshness was probably their thing. And it's probably safer than using a pot on the stove to boil your lard or your oil in. Again, and here's the question. This is a genuine question because I don't know. Do they still sell Fry Daddies? I'm sure they do, but it's got to be in a lot smaller quantity. Everyone I knew had one of those back in the day. Like 2003, a cooking teacher showed us about deep fried French toast. Yep, had that before. I don't want to say I don't think I've made it.
Letter.
You can make some of that stuff in a healthier way. That's why I said like whenever when I go on a good like I'm gonna eat healthy kind of kick, I usually don't buy pre-prepared food. You get for my taste, I have to make it. So that's when I learned. I knew how to cook a little bit because my mom's a good cook. My dad knows how to cook things on the grill, so I kind of got that from him. I wish I knew how to bake like my mom. She can bake really well. Desserts, it's kind of the thing where, I am the size that I am for somewhat of a reason. She knows how to fry chicken very well, which I can't do. And she knows how to bake, which I got a little bit of that talent. But I mean, she doesn't even use a recipe card. She just eyeballs all of the stuff, and somehow it ends up tasting delicious every time. For me, I got to look at a recipe card, and I follow that thing to the letter. And if I make any changes on it, I'm definitely... So that's another thing, too. Like, some people may be surprised to learn. I do know how to cook. I don't go out to eat every meal. And that's why I said, especially now that it's winter. Oh, I went grocery shopping, and you know what I forgot to pick up? I forgot to pick up, like, I want to do a pot roast or get something for, like, beef stew. Because I want to do one of those meals. It's getting cold out now.
Choose a letter.
So it's about time for that. Or I can do some chili. Sliced sweet potatoes, put some salt and onion powder on them, air fry them. That's so good. Not a big fan of sweet potatoes. Otherwise, I would try that. I mean, I still might. I'm open to anything once, but man, I have not found a sweet potato that I've liked. Ooh, an ice cream ninja? That'd be nice. Your dad was deep frying pierogies, and it exploded in his face? Oh, that's terrible. Sorry to hear that.
A letter.
Shake and bake pork chops. Tried pancake batter. On fried pork chops didn't work. Yeah, I don't think... I mean,
Choose a letter.
I guess trying anything once. Sausage, gravy, and biscuits, yep. Oh, I definitely know how to make those. And from scratch. But that I learned from my grandma, the gravy from scratch. She made the world's most unhealthy gravy ever. But man, it was good. Oh my gosh. That's a taste and flavor I'll be chasing till the day I die.
Choose a letter.
So that you were very against sweet potatoes. Yep. And I'll tell you this too. I don't do a lot of regular potatoes either. Like, I used to love regular potatoes, but I don't know. Occupation, huh? Oh, I think you might be right. You might be onto something there. That's why you put stockbroker. Here I am just talking about food because I'm getting hungry. I haven't eaten dinner yet. Probably do a light dinner, like a sandwich or something. I didn't actually eat too terribly this week, with it being Thanksgiving and all. So yeah, in Canada, remember in Canada, KFC switched to biscuits from simple dinner buns. We were all so mad. Oh, but their biscuits are good. I should have guessed the K. We're gonna try the K next. That's kind of thing. Are all the KFCs like shut down worldwide? All the ones in my area shut down. And it's not, I haven't been to a KFC in probably 10, 20 years. It's been a long time. I don't trust it not to get me a bankrupt. Like I know like KFC, Taco Bell, and Pizza Hut, are they all owned by the same company now? Oh my gosh, there's an apostrophe. Person's man. I don't know. I think maybe it was just the guy who owned all the franchises, or the company that owned all the franchises in our area. I think they got shut down. It was very abrupt too. Like middle of the day, they're like working. All of a sudden, the workers were told, "Hey, by the way, we're shutting down your store." They're like, "Oh, for the day?" They're like, "No, for good."
Choose a letter.
There's got to be an S. Of course, that's the only S. Let's buy a vowel.
Choose a letter.
Soups are a good thing to do in crock pot as well, and the instant pot. And there's some good, healthy style soups you can do. See now you said biscuits, and now like I'm not that hungry, but now I'm starting to think I can smell those biscuits. Yum Brands, yes, Popeyes for life. I'm not endorsed by anyone, but I won't preclude
Choose a letter.
either one of them. $200. Let's go with the C. Oh, we do have a C. By saying two games are different. What is that saying? By saying two games are different, that you can't compare them is actually comparing them, right? Right. Yes. If you say two games are different, that is comparing them. I guess when you're trying to say you're comparing two games that are very similar. I think I said that about when I was playing Donkey Kong Country, didn't I?
Choose a letter.
We were saying Donkey Kong versus Sonic. Well, now I have no idea. It's a person?
Choose a letter.
Oh, it's not that. Hmm. I will say I think that reviews are sometimes, and especially in game ratings and like Game of the Year awards, there we go, something like that.
Choose a letter.
No, neither one of the words are what I thought they were. Um, like they like to, I think that too many reviews are comparative. Like there are some games that are really good out there, but then they're released next to a game that like blows it out of the water, but they're two completely different games. So for example,
Choose a letter.
Astrobot, and what's another one that was on this year's? Hmm. I guess it's got to be an A. It's got to be the last of the vowels. It's not men. Beechers? Teacher's Pet. Gosh, that took forever. It's one of those things where I wasn't paying attention because I was reading the chat too much. I was saying 2 games are actually so different they can't be compared as actually comparing them in a way, right? Yeah, it is. I agree.
Choose a letter.
In the year 2550. I know it's not it, but it's not 55. That's something I should have got. I teach part of the day. Speaking of which, I've been off of work since last Tuesday, and now I got to go back tomorrow. We got another person. I like it when even the computer gets that. We can't play for that, so I'll spin the wheel again. It's probably gonna get like $200. Come on, 5,000. 700. It could have been worse. Could have been better. Could have been bankrupt. All right. No R's. Oh, I forgot Pirate's favorite letter. We're gonna have to end it. Sorry, that isn't correct. I didn't have a guess. That's why it's not correct. No C's. Okay. No. No. Denied. That letter's already selected. Man. Are there any letters in this puzzle? Are they all vowels? Nope. Are there any vowels in this puzzle? No. All right, I'm just going to go in order. Baseball? That's not a person. No, so there's no L's on it either. What? Oh, I know what it is. Oh, Beasters, you almost beat me to it. Busybody. There's only one more. There we go. I thought of it at the same time, like, what is in this puzzle? All right, let's just go with you. There we go. 13,700. I think that's a record for this version of the game. The overall winner is play. Now we will play the bonus round. I don't know if I like this one. So what kind of pet do I have? I actually don't have any pets currently. I guess the closest I have is my parents' dog. They have a German Shepherd. She's a big sweetie. Although for the longest time, I had a thing against German Shepherds because I got attacked by one as a kid. So she's kind of warmed me up to that breed again.
Choose a letter.
Well, I knew one of the words had to be the.
Choose a letter. Choose a letter. Choose a letter.
Well. Phrase. Bigger the fall. Oh, off the wall. Can I get it? Oh, nostalgic. You saved me on that one. Oh my gosh, that was so close. Whew. What do you think? What do you think we won? Most busybody types, are time wasters. Yeah, they just pretend to do something. Off the Wall is a good 2,600 game. $25,000. We can buy at least one 2,600 with that. So 25,000 plus 13,700. I should know this off the top of my head, but I don't. 25,000 plus 13,700. is $38,700. You guys probably got that before me. $38,700 in 1990. Worth today. Well, it got it wrong because it put 380,000. Maybe that's what I typed. 38,700 is worth $93,467 today. Yeah, we'll take that. Thanks, Nostalgic, for that one, because it would have taken me. I was thinking when I thought fall, I'm like, oh, that's you're not gonna be able to get me to think of anything else. So when you said off the wall, I'm like, oh, that's got to be it. Very nice. Well, folks, that's all I got for this week. A lot of stimulating conversation. It seems like we have some interest in something like maybe a retro movie or cinema style channel in the same vein I do it. Like I said, the big thing is the time. A lot of things in the personal life, a lot of things in the professional life. Oh, you know what? What's going on here? Jerome, have you heard me for a while? Can you hear me now is the big thing. It says it's not showing me. It's not showing my microphone's working at all. So if you can hear me, let me know. But it's also not showing any sound from the capture card. I started off with sound. Testing. Yeah, I don't think I'm getting sound on one of the platforms. What is going on with this thing? Did I kick a plug loose? Maybe when I got up to go to the bathroom? Ah, there it is. Jerome, can you hear me now? I'm going to wait for that to go out. Sorry. It's one of those things where I'm like trying to get it out there. Do you guys ever have You Bake It pizzas as kids? We had something like, whatchamacallit? Like the Easy Bake Oven kind of pizza things. You buy pizzas from the real shops. We had a Little Caesars pizza. It's probably about the cheapest you can get. Domino's pizza didn't used to be the greatest either. It's gotten better. Well, I appreciate that, Jet Screamer. Yeah, Almighty Peanut, that's about it. I know, we've got... Yeah, you switched to it. Yeah, sorry about that. I didn't... Apparently the plug got knocked slightly loose, and I didn't notice. Because I don't wear headphones either, so... I usually try to keep an eye on it, and I just kind of looked over and it wasn't there. Do you know how long the sound was off from? Yeah, that's not a Twitch thing. That was a whoops. I must have kicked that with my foot and it knocked the cord slightly loose. Sorry about that. I'll try to keep an eye on that next time. Usually people let me know in the chat when the sound's off. There's been times where I've accidentally left the thing on mute. So kind of like the Zoom calls. That we all did that. Beaster says it ain't 2024 unless at some point at work or life no one knows if anyone can hear them exactly, right? In this day and age. Well, I appreciate it, everybody. Thanks for joining me on the stream. Hope everyone has a great night, an even better week. And if I don't see you guys throughout the week, hope to see you again, same time, same place. Hopefully with sound next time throughout the entire broadcast. And we'll see you. Have a good one, everybody.